Testing.
And then
Testing.
I was like, maybe that sounds kind of interesting. And I just reached out to them and we started a chapter. Yeah, just like the very start. She's the vice president. But yeah, it's very, very new.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Do you need anything from me?
Yeah, we'll but yeah, we like just started. Yeah, we're actually in the process of getting like recognized right now. We're not like officially recognized yet, but we should be in like a week or two. But
Oh, like at Purdue? Like
yeah, we're not like
process.
officially recognized yet, but we should be soon, hopefully.
Oh, there's process for that?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we needed we have an advisor, like we have it like we already like submitted our application and all that, so we're just waiting. But yeah. So it's nothing too the process wasn't too bad, it was just kind of it was just mildly annoying. If anything. It's like we had to like they took care of they still took care of like most of the really annoying stuff, like making the constitution. I did not touch that. I was never one to have touched that. Because it seems so boring.
It is.
Yeah, I'm so glad you guys did that.
When I was a student, I never read the Constitution. I was like, don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, I skimmed it over.
Get this out of my face.
So yeah, it was honestly like, if I had to do that, I don't know if it would have gotten submitted in time, but it ended up working out. So.
We'll start with you guys better. So do you plan on doing more outreach?
Yeah, you know like the dog meat thing?
Yeah.
We just did that last week. And we did like the cube, or it wasn't really the cube, like the way you're supposed to do it. Hello. We'll be getting started soon. But
If you guys are doing like, I'll join the Discord, but I'd really like to just come and join you guys.
yeah, of course, yeah, like and our event should be totally open to you guys. Just feel free to just join your Discord and get it or if you don't have like a Discord or whatever, you can just get on for like email list if that would work too.
Oh, you guys have it?
Yeah. If you I think actually it'd probably just be easier for you to join our Discord then, since you're not really sitting out here.
And that works for me. And
Yeah, I mean I like copy paste every single email I send into the announcement. so it's basically the same thing. What's the date for me?
Yeah, she, I got like the,
Where else can you, on that tape, we can just do that, you just need to tell me Yeah. Kalyani?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or just sit anywhere.
Yeah, just go for it. Hello. It's good to see you getting so seriously. Yeah. Where do you want to go? Okay, good.
I didn't even know they had one. Exactly. I think this has to be well.
Hello. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Manny. I understand almost everything you guys were talking about, which is great.
We may need to grab a few more chairs. Good turnout.
Where are you from? Sorry, yeah, I really liked it. My friend had it and suggested that I get one too. So I get one. Also, it's very nice.
I remember
Where are you studying?
last week we had like a bunch of conversations with a lot of random
So like
people.
an hour.
I remember there was
Like investigating. Yeah. What inspired you?
I'm just gonna. Hello. Would you please pass this and grab one if you like and just pass it? Do we need napkins for it? I don't know. Please help yourself if you like. Hello. Let's grab a few more chairs.
Work time-wise on it. I like what you can do with it. Are you feeling better? I like what you can do with it.
Hello. Do you know how much food she's ordering?
There should be 6 large pizzas.
Is it enough for this?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
I'll probably just say like just grab 1 slice, and then if we have more people, grab more.
Okay. Hey.
Sam, do you want to come with me?
All right, guys. Wow, you're so on time. I literally give these lectures. This is my second one just today, and 6:00, and you're all here. Wow, it's crazy. I want to say this. I've been spending a couple of days here at Purdue, and I teach in about 30 universities. This has been the best university I've ever been into. I really mean that. Just some of the most open-minded people, and really kudos to you. So maybe we can get started. I'm Faraz, I guess that's me. I'm the CEO of Allied Scholars for Animal Protection, which is a nonprofit that empowers students to make better choices, whether it comes to animals, the environment, public health, and most importantly, one of the most important things I hope to do today is to inspire you to do something amazing with your life. I start with giving you a quick, I guess, hello, disclaimer that I'm not a salesperson, I'm not a politician, I'm not a public speaker. I'm shy and introvert, and actually every time I stand in front of people, a part of me dies. But I still do it. English is not, as you can tell, it's not even my first language. But the reason I do what I do is because what I'm about to talk to you about, I think, is the biggest moral and legal blind spot in our society. And I make some jokes. Hello. I'll make some jokes. Feel free to laugh. But I'll also make you uncomfortable, not intentionally, but the reason for that is I think we can only do amazing things with our lives outside of our comfort zone. You sit down in a lot of boring classes anyway, so let's make that not boring. The case that I'll make to you today is that there is a root cause for all these global issues. You are at a point in your life where you're deciding what you want to do, right? First of all, remember with your bachelor degree, you're not obligated to do whatever you're studying for the rest of your life. People change careers all the time and majors. You're probably asking yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you studying physics or mathematics or finance or art or whatever it is? What's the end goal here? One thing that I say is that no matter what you are curious about, no matter what you are interested in, you can use your career in something that addresses some of the biggest global issues in the world. Do you have a seat? Is there? Okay, great. So think about some of these: world hunger and global malnutrition. Anything related to sustainability. People care about species extinction and animals and deforestation. And if you are into anything related to medicine, antibiotic resistance and pandemics and zoonotic diseases, some of the top causes of death, pain, and suffering in the world, whether the victim is humans or non-human animals. All of it comes down to the food system, the food that we are eating, animal agriculture, etc. I'd like you to think about what we're going to talk about today as your opportunity. This is the first time that you're going to be thinking about some of the things I'm going to mention to you. The only reason I stand in front of you today is because I really wish when I was in college, somebody told me about this. And I want you to think about these people. What do they have in common? I think that today we like them and we are inspired by them because they had the courage, they had the guts to do something that at their time wasn't legal, wasn't normal. They had to go against the flow to say what was right to say at that time. It wasn't convenient. They didn't do what they did because it was convenient, because it was easy. They did it because it was right. And that courage is what I want you to have. I'm going to ask you a few questions when it comes to animals and eating animals. So when it comes to, most of us say we love animals, right? That should be free.
Thank you.
Most of us say we love animals. What do we mean when we say we love animals? Do we mean that we just love cute and fuzzy ones, cats and dogs? Or do we think that animals fundamentally deserve respect, right? Like dogs. You look into their eyes and you see that there is someone in there. They are not objects, right? Can I grab a few seats? Okay, bear with me. It's going to be a little distracting, so I want you to try to. I have ADHD myself. It's going to, but stay with me. Have you ever wondered that if you were born somewhere else in the world, you'll be eating animals you love today, you'd be loving animals you are eating today? How did you decide which animals we are eating and which ones we are loving? Sure. The next question becomes, do we think culture, the fact that we've been doing something for thousands of years, tradition, convenience, taste, do we think these are good reasons to harm animals? That's the next question. I loved meat. I didn't become vegan because someday I woke up and I stopped liking the taste of meat. No one does that. The question that you have to ask yourself is that if you had animal products 2 or 3 days ago in your meal, you probably don't even remember what you ate. But for that, an animal had to be raised in captivity, had to be treated like a commodity and slave, and eventually be slaughtered. And speaking of slavery, do you think that I'm going to refer to animals and use words like slavery, oppression, injustice, things like that? Do you think that slavery, oppression, injustice are unique to humans? Is it possible to oppress members of other species? Is it possible to enslave them? It doesn't mean that human slave and other animal slaves are identical. That's not what I'm saying. But is it possible to enslave them? Because if you go to a farm, if you go to a slaughterhouse, you're going to find a bunch of very sad, enslaved animals raised in captivity. And if you understand that they are not things, they are beings, then surely you agree that they are being enslaved against their will. Every time I finish my lecture, someone always asks, like, what about like a small farm? What about humane treatment of animals? Maybe, yes, factory farms are bad, but maybe there is a better way to treat animals. Humanely raised. I want you to think about what humane means. Does anyone know what the dictionary definition of the word humane means?
In a way of showing like compassion or kindness.
Exactly. So humane means act of kindness and compassion. Is there truly a way to kindly and compassionately slaughter an animal, take away their milk, take away their eggs, and eventually slaughter them just because we like cheese? Just notice, I'm not talking about 2,000 years ago. I'm not talking about people who had to eat whatever they had to. I'm talking about today. For us, we don't do this to animals because we have to survive. We do it because we like cheese. So that's the essence of what I'm talking about today. You probably heard, I don't know, maybe, I'm actually from Iran. So this is Tehran, my home city. And it looks like this right now. Like literally 2 days ago, my mom messaged me on WhatsApp saying that, the bombardment started. And the day before that, she was going to buy like dry bread because in case there is war, she has food at home. And this is, my hometown. So I have other shit to think about. There are a lot of things that I actually care about in this world. It's not just animals. And a problem like this couldn't be closer to home to me. But the reason I stand in front of you to talk to you about animals of other species is because Not only in scale, it's the biggest form of preventable suffering and pain because we killed 3 trillion animals every single year, more every year than all people ever existed. Not only in scale, it's like completely on a different scale, but also it's most neglected. And that's why it deserves my voice. Because all of us say we love animals, but most of us go out there and have chickens and pigs and cows, and we don't even think about for a second. And none of this is a judgment on what you've been doing, because I never ask these questions. The whole idea today is that for once we should start thinking about this. Sometimes I ask myself, what is wrong with me? I took this picture from Austin, where I live, to Chicago on a flight. And I'm a pilot, and I love aviation, but nowadays it's just a miserable experience for me because my eyes have been trained to look for certain things. These things. That's the same exact picture. All the 200 people on the plane, they're looking at the same thing, but most of them don't even know what they're looking at. In each one of those buildings, several 100,000 individuals are being enslaved, raised in captivity, mutilated, waiting to be slaughtered. They have no value aside from their economical value. The second they don't make enough money for the owner, they will be killed. And in this one picture alone, there are millions of these chickens. Just a few weeks ago, I think 3 weeks ago, Americans alone, we slaughtered 800 million chickens to have about 1.5 billion chicken wings, not because anyone needs to eat chicken wings to survive. It was Super Bowl. It was a fun activity. And the most ironic part of that is that most of us probably were petting a dog as we were eating chicken wings. If I put dogs in those same buildings, there would be riots everywhere. And why go there? If I was actually beating a chicken on campus right now, how long before someone called cops? Immediately. But then we go eat meat, eggs, dairy without a second thought. So that's a cognitive dissonance I want to fix today. And then you ask yourself, why do we do that? The answer is habit, tradition, convenience. At the core, it's because we like it. We like the taste of meat or cheese or whatever. So when I tell you that, yes, stuff is going on home, and I think about my mom and my family there, but I stand in front of you to talk to you about animal rights, it's because of this. This is every second how many animals are killed. Not just exploded and like tortured. It's just the number of death. And I ask you, show me something that causes more death, suffering, pain, and exploitation on Earth. I will shut up right now and go do that. So I'll tell you a little about my background. This is me day one, look like a potato. And this is the last picture I have with my mom. She's still alive, but for reasons I'll tell you in a second, I can't go back home. My mom can't leave, so unless there is a regime change, I can't really go back and see her. I usually feel a little uneasy to show this picture because my mom is actually not religious. But in my home country, if like women don't have that basic right to say that I don't want this hair cover. If she said that, she can lose her head. And so I feel uneasy to show it, but that was certainly another thing that I cared about, the basic human rights of my people. When I was in college, I was studying chemical engineering. That was my bachelor because I liked chemistry and math. But then there was this big oil spill that happened in the Gulf of Mexico, and I decided to focus on environment because I was like, oh, I just want to help the environment. Then everything took a turn. I'm a musician, so as shy and introvert as I am, two of my friends dragged me to a hospital and said, let's play music for kids and make them happy. So that's me. And I can't tell you what it feels like. This was a cancer institute. So these were terminally ill cancer kids. And there were like 10 beds around the room and with these kids. And we told ourselves we shouldn't connect with them. We shouldn't bond with them because then, you suffer. But I'm a human. Like, it's really hard to work with them and don't get attached. And next week you go, and then they're not there, and you really just don't want to ask what happened. Doing this, again, I ask myself, what is something bigger I can do with my life? And I want you to ask yourself that too. Like, what's the goal in your life? Making money? You guys, graduating from Purdue, you're going to make enough money that you're not going to be hungry. You're going to have a roof over your head. What's next? So I decided that if I really want to do something about cancer, why not studying cancer? So I came to the US for my master's and doctoral degree, studied in one of the best institutes, Cancer Institute in Texas, and then started working on zoonotic diseases, in this case like bird flu. And at this point in my life, if you know my background, at this point I was making about $400,000 per year, and then I had like stock options from biopharma. I had a nice life. But every day I woke up and I was miserable. I hate mornings anyways, but then like I went to work at 8 a.m. and I'm like designing experiments, and I was like, oh my God, I have brain fog. Is this that B12 deficiency that's supposed to hit vegans finally? I was like, what is it? Is that the protein deficiency is hitting me? Turned out I was just doing the wrong thing, right? That's because that day I took this picture, I was working on bird flu. I was like, where does bird flu come from? From penguins? It comes from chickens. As long as we are not fixing the food system, we are going to have these diseases. And I asked myself one thing. If I don't do this, biopharma easily will hire someone else to do my job. But if I don't speak about animal rights, how often are you exposed to this thing I'm going to talk about at all? So I did my undergrad in Tehran, and this is actually University of Tehran, which is the best and largest university in my home country. And these are a bunch of happy students because it's a stock image. Sometimes it looks like this. But maybe like today, all of my work is in the universities because I have so much hope in you guys. Maybe a part of that is because when I was a student, all the revolutions always started from universities. I think that students are in good colleges are like one step ahead of the society. So in this case, we were peacefully protesting, and I want to tell you about this. As we were, the gate was locked, so we couldn't really like open it. As we were peacefully protesting, somebody, this guy, all he did was showing us a peace sign. And the next thing I know, these paramilitary forces, they attacked this guy and started beating him in the head with batons. And I really hope that you never have to observe that with your own eyes. And I'm so glad that no matter how bad things are, like no one is going to do that to you. But the fact that you're behind this gate and you can't do anything about it, horrible feeling. And it's not like a fist fight. It's not that you get bloody nose. It's like this guy is going to die. And as I thought things can't get any worse, paramilitary forces actually broke the gate and attacked students. At this point, I was also tear gassed. I don't know if you've been tear gassed, but with high concentrations, you basically can't see and you're just drooling. And I just saw like vaguely a group of people appeared in front of me, and I couldn't tell if they were students running away or paramilitary forces until one of them raised his hand with a machete, like a big knife, and said, "Motherfucker, wait," and started running after me. And I froze for 3-4 seconds, and then that motherfucker was the best motherfucker I've ever heard in my life. That was my cue that I better run. And that's the closest I've actually come to getting killed myself. And just to make matters worse, I'm also gay, and homosexuality is also punishable by death in Iran. It's as if like if there was a list of things not to do in Iran, I literally crossed all of them. I nuked bridges behind my back. I'm also not religious. That alone is another reason to lose your head for. About 15 years ago, I care about all this stuff. And then 15 years ago, one of my friends, I was rescuing some fish. And then I asked my friend to help me, and she refused. And she was from also Iran, and Iranians are very nice. We would never say no. We'd rather die inside and never say no. But she literally said, "No, I'm not going to help you because you're a hypocrite, because you eat animals." And I was like, ouch. I hated my friend for 3 months. And then I was like, God damn it, she has a point. The point is speciesism. Speciesism is analogous to racism and sexism. It's discriminating against members of other species. It's the one where we say that we love dogs and we pet them and we treat them like family members and friends. But with pigs, we don't have any compassion for them. We don't even think about it. We even joke about like bacon. I love bacon. You know, we don't joke about their suffering. And when it finally hit me, I was like, holy shit, like it is true, I always care about this. 15 years ago, I lived in Germany for a while, and bratwurst was my favorite food. And even when my friend pointed out my hypocrisy, it took me 3 months to sort of put 2 and 2 together. I was like, sorry, pigs, it's just 1 second of you dying. I just love bratwurst. And when I look back at where I was, I think that that's a loss of ever been as a human being. Because if you don't know, you don't know. But once you know, then you have to take action. And when I look back, those 3 months that I just tried to pretend that I don't know, I think that's a loss of ever been as a human being. I was against gay people being, hanging gay people for who they are, but I was okay for hanging chickens upside down for who they are. And obviously care about human rights and women's rights, and saw the suffering of my mom. And at the same time, I consumed dairy unintentionally, just didn't know. But I tell you, there is no industry in the world that is as abusive as dairy is to females of other species. The entire dairy industry is fundamentally based on exploiting the reproductive system of cows and killing them the second they're not profitable. What you're seeing here is artificial insemination. Against cows' will, they get artificially inseminated. These are not like accidental, like rare cases. This is standard practice. They jack off a bull, they get the sperm, they go inside a female cow, make her artificially inseminated. Do you know how long cows are pregnant? 9 months, just like humans. After 9 months, they give birth. If the baby is male, they send them to slaughterhouse. If they're female, they separate the baby. And physiologically speaking, as a scientist, they literally produce the same hormones as a human mother produces when she has a baby. When I was a kid, I had this little chicken. His name was Happy. Happy was actually the first English word that I learned. And Happy grew up to become this big rooster, as I was also getting fat, apparently. He was loud, so we had to give him to my grandma. And bless her heart, she always thought that I was excited to see her, but I just was excited to see Happy. Every time I opened the door, Happy got excited, jumped at me, we cuddled. And honestly, when you give these animals a chance, they all show the same signs as dogs and cats. He loved me back, we cuddled, and I'm the only child, so he was my best friend. 10 years later, after this, my mom once accidentally said that, hello. My mom accidentally said that the chicken soup we had that night. And obviously I was really mad. I still have a hard time forgiving my grandma for lying to me and killing my best friend and feeding him to me. But I can't really blame her that much because 1, she didn't know better. 2, that day I remember having chicken. I remember the goddamn chicken bones in my soup. But I didn't care because I didn't think it was Happy. So what is going on? If the food that you're eating, for a second you go home and someone told you that was made of your pet, same animal but just different species, or maybe even someone you don't know, you immediately vomit. So it's not you. There is something inside you that knows that doing this to animals is not good, and taste and pleasure, momentary taste and pleasure, is not a good excuse. So I want to show you a few incidences of kids when for the first time they learn that the meat they're eating is actually dead animals. Now, to be fair, I don't actually like kids, but I'm going to show you, not because I want to make you emotional, but I want you to see where speciesism is being formed. that these kids already know that doing this to animals is wrong, but parents are telling us the same thing I was told.
I'm gonna eat them every day.
What do you think? So what will you eat instead?
I will eat whatever there's on the table, but not chicken or meat.
Why do you think you don't want to do that?
Because they're animals and I like animals.
So what will we do if we miss eating chicken and meat?
I don't miss eating chicken and meat.
How about fish?
Fish?
Yeah.
Fish? Is it an animal?
Yeah.
I won't eat that either.
Oh my God. So what?
I won't eat animals!
Okay. Why do you feel sorry for animals?
Because they're nice, and I know that we cook them sometimes, which is not very nice.
Yeah. Do you think they suffer?
I think that they don't really like being cooked in the oven. I don't like when people eat apples. I just don't want them to chopped up.
You don't want them to be chopped up, but they taste very good.
But I don't like horsey.
You don't eat horses, you only eat turkeys
Why?
and chicken and pigs and cows.
Speciesism.
Pigs are nice. Chicks are nice and cows are nice.
So we should eat them, should we not?
No, why are you jumping the model?
Farmers,
Why?
it's their job. It's how they make a living. It's how they make money. They taste good and they have protein and they're good for you. Oh, sorry.
And I won't make you eat the food because I don't want to argue with you.
Would you like if someone ate you?
No, I wouldn't.
Well, then why should I eat this poor harmless animal?
Okay, but do you understand what I'm saying? We didn't kill this animal. It's good for your body. Jesus created animals for us to eat. Baby, do you understand? I just want you to be healthy. It's food, baby. I'm not hurting you. It's food.
Well, you're hurting the animals.
I did not hurt the animals. Good girl. Alana, eat it, chew it, and drink your water. Quick, quick.
You know, when I was a kid, very small, I actually didn't like meat at all. I always left it at the end, and people said, eat the meat, eat the meat. You need that to, be strong, whatever. And no one around me ever went to college, and now I'm a doctor. That's not how it works. You don't need to eat meat. But that's what they thought. That's what they told me. And when I was at your age, that's when I was so addicted to eating meat that even when I saw the cruelty, then I thought it was very hard to give it up. But I want to show you, it's really interesting. Like now I tell people about like eating animals, and there is always someone says, what about fish? It's a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old kid understands like fish are animals. I don't want to eat animals. Think about it. Like if you don't need a lecture to give to a kid, they already know harming animals is wrong. And I want to show you, like a lot of kids, when you actually try to harm animals, unless they're an actual psycho, this is what they would do.
But you could if you did. But the bird didn't hurt you.
You know, amongst all of them, that last one hits the hardest for me because I really wish that, you know, that the kid, just the way that he saved that chicken, I really wish like I was there when my grandma was killing Happy. But I want you to understand that when we were kids, we understood that this is wrong. Somewhere along the way, we were told all these things that you heard. We didn't hurt the animals. It tastes good. It's good for you. Jesus put animals here for us. As kids, we were animals' best heroes. Somewhere along the way, we became conditioned to become their worst nightmare. And why is eating meat, eggs, dairy so easy? Because, my friends, we are being lied to every single time. And don't take my word for it. Every time you go to grocery store, grab any bottle of like dairy or milk, and you notice that it's always a cartoonish, happy animals. Always. It's easy to eat animals because you don't have to listen to pigs screaming to death, and you buy these, we wash the blood off, we wash all the bad stuff off, and you get this nicely cut bacon processed in this package. You don't have to see it, right? Do you really think that animals in slaughterhouses look like this? So you're being lied to, so not only the cruelty is hidden from you, but also you're always exposed to humanely raised, grass-fed, organic, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. This is something that I noticed that 95% of students in top universities do not know. I didn't know. Male chickens, who knew? They don't lay eggs. Males don't lay eggs. Males don't produce milk, breast milk. So in egg industry, even if it's pasture raised, even if it's some backyard farm, some farmer that you know, male chickens don't lay eggs. They're not profitable for egg business. They're always killed. Male calves are always killed because males, again, they don't produce breast milk. And all the female ones, all the female chickens and all the female cows are eventually killed. The second they're not profitable, they're killed. How many of you know about ag-gag laws? 3, 4, 4, 5. Ag-gag laws criminalize people, whistleblowers, from showing you what happens to animals. So if I went to a farm, eating bacon is really easy because you don't have to see what happens to pigs. If I went to a farm and just recorded what happens and showed you the truth, then I would be going to jail, right? So this usually gets struck down by Supreme Court because it's not constitutional, but the animal ag industry tries anyways. Just look it up. But my question for you is, what is happening behind the doors that they work so hard to keep it away from you? If it's so good, why try so hard to hide it? So for 3 minutes, please bear with me. I'm going to show you standard practices in humane, small, large farms, all of it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but I will watch it with you, my friends. Please don't turn around. If you would, please don't stand up to leave. If you can't, there's no audio, there's like music. Just look away, but I encourage you not to. Yeah, I'll watch it with you. Just give it 3 minutes, and please empathize. Imagine any of these animals was an animal that you actually care about. What are we doing, my friends? Is this a sign of a progressive, civilized society? When I came to the US for the first couple of months, and when I eventually came out, best experience of my life. I've never felt more liberated than when I came out. In Iran, it's not that I had to keep it hidden from other people. You can't even accept yourself because you think that there's something wrong with you. And when I finally came out, it felt like I finally let go of bags of stone and stones like attached to my body, and finally I can swim and walk freely. Nothing in my life felt like that liberating. And I love the US. This is one of the best countries in the world. This is one of the few countries left where you can talk about anything. You have free speech, and the response to your words is words. And I love this country. But when I became vegan, it suddenly turned to one giant concentration camp, one giant prison, except that the victims are hidden from us. We have victimized these animals to a point that we don't even think about them as victims anymore. I want you to consider what characteristic these animals lack, that if a human didn't have that, you would treat that person like the way that we treat these animals.
They can't speak or articulate their thoughts.
Yeah. Jeremy Bentham actually said, to respond to that the question is, can they logic? Neither can they speak. The question is, can they suffer? My friends, every time in history humans oppressed each other, it's because we looked at each other's differences and we used the differences to oppress each other. We said, you are a different sex, my sex is better. We look at the sexual orientation, we said, that's a reason to oppress you. You look different, you have a different race, that's a good reason to oppress you. My friends, today it's easy to say that racism is bad and slavery is bad. So convenient of us. Most of us, 95% of us, if we went back 200 years ago, we would just go with the flow. It's easy to say that now, of course, because it's normalized. You have thought about this. You're not being born in a family that's racist or has slaves. But back then, when it was legal, when it was normal, when it was culturally acceptable, very few people had the courage to do the right thing. Could it be that today what we do to these animals is in our legal and moral blind spot? What if we are wrong? Can you imagine how much pain and suffering we're inflicting upon these animals that are just like the cats and dogs that we love? I'd like you to think about what we do to these animals, not as a form of injustice. I'm not here to advocate for gluten-free diet. Please eat this, don't eat that. I'm inviting you to think about what we do to animals as a form of injustice. What does that mean? If I was beating a dog in front of you, you're going to ask me to stop. What if I said, you're making some good points. I'll stop beating this dog on Mondays. Beatless Mondays, like Meatless Monday, right? It doesn't work that way. If I was slightly racist, you would ask me to stop. If I said, well, you have no idea, my parents are worse, I'm doing my best, I'm 99% not racist. You're like, that's not good enough a reason. Injustice doesn't work that way. You're either a part of it or not. So I'm going to switch gears. Even if you hate animals, I make a case that you should still promote plant-based diet. Here's why. What is #1 cause of death? Close. Heart disease, who said that? Did anyone say heart disease? Yes, right. Don't be shy. You're right. So #1 cause of death in the US and globally is heart disease. When I was working on cancer research, I was like, well, wouldn't it make sense, if I really want to save people, wouldn't it make sense to work on heart disease? Number one cause of death in our species is almost entirely preventable. 40% of cancers are preventable, but heart disease almost entirely. What is it linked to? You know, there's a lot of stuff on TikTok going on, but at the end of the day, if you go to a cardiologist, they're going to look at your lipids. They're going to look at your LDL cholesterol. They're going to look at your saturated fat consumption. Where does saturated fat come from? Meat, eggs, dairy. When I talk to people, they still say that meat is a good source of protein, which it is. No one argues that it's not, but food is a package. You get a lot of proteins from meat, but you also get saturated fat, cholesterol, and carcinogens. This is not a vegan organization. This is World Health Organization. Red meat and processed meat, group 1 and 2A carcinogenic. Find me one cancer institute in the world that says eat more meat. They all say if you want to, this is American Institute for Cancer Research. If you want to reduce the risk of cancer, if you want to fight against cancer, eat more fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, and legumes. Avoid red meat, processed meat, alcohol, and sugary drink, which please do anyways. Even other types of meat that are not red meat, like fish and chicken, when you heat them at high temperatures, they still become carcinogenic. So if your idea of, oh, red meat is bad, I'm eating chicken, but you're eating this, and fried fish, you're not doing yourself a favor. I don't even have to convince you that being on a plant-based diet, on a healthy plant-based diet, is helpful for you. All I can show you, or all I need to show you, is that it is absolutely possible to be healthy on a plant-based diet. Why? Because I don't want to exploit you. I don't want you to suffer. If I had a grain of doubt that you couldn't be on a plant-based diet, I had no point to talk to you. But not only that's not the case, not only you can, but also it ends up being cheaper and healthier for you. This is the position of Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. This is the largest academy of nutritionists in the world, and it's not a vegan organization. What does it say if I zoom in? That plant-based, well, appropriately planned vegetarian or vegan diets. That's important, appropriately planned, because you can be vegan and eat French fries and Oreos, obviously, right? They can be healthful, nutritionally adequate, and may provide health benefits in prevention and treatment certain of diseases. They're appropriate for all stages of life, including pregnancy, lactation, infancy, childhood, adolescence, older adults, and for athletes. So athletes who say, I'll die if I go plant-based because I don't get protein, that's not true. On top of that, they are more environmentally sustainable, and they will reduce the risk of certain health conditions, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, several types of cancer, and obesity. And you know, people talk about protein all the time, so I'll show you this. Soy is actually a complete protein, so you don't have to be worried about protein. Find me a doctor in ER who has ever seen anything like this. They're bringing someone, they're doing CPR, and like, what happened? Or nothing, just like didn't get enough protein. Doesn't happen. People die from heart disease, cancer, diabetes. All those diseases, you can actually reduce the risk with a plant-based diet. Of course, there are lots of Olympic athletes. We just had last week, we had her in a meeting with us. She's an Olympic medalist on a plant-based diet. He's the best tennis player in the world, gold medal, plant-based diet. All right, switching gears. Ask any biomedical scientist and they would tell you antibiotic resistance is one of top threats to human life. 80% of antibiotics that are medically relevant to humans, we are not giving it to people, we are giving it to farm animals. So animal agriculture is a big source of antibiotic resistance. When you have these animal farms, you have these lagoons. These are basically lakes full of hormones, antibiotics, and cow and chicken shit. And when they overflow, they actually contaminate water. They can cause eutrophication, fish die, blah, blah, blah. I told you that even if you care about children, here's the thing. Yes, people are dying in my home country, Iran. But if I don't pick my fights based on what's closer to my heart and to my home. I think about it objectively. Objectively speaking, more people die from global malnutrition than people who die in Iran or any other country. Global malnutrition, children who don't have enough food. One reason behind that is because animal agriculture is very ineffective in converting energy. We are taking, this is entire agricultural land on earth available for agriculture, right? 80% of that is dedicated to livestock, meat and dairy. So either to raise animals or to grow food for those animals. That 80% is feeding, it's producing about 20% of global calories. The rest of it comes from that little that's left for agriculture. And today we don't have enough food because of this. And by 2050, we're going to have 10 billion people. We already don't have enough food. Unless we fix the food system, we're going to have more and more hungry people. And you may think, what about small farms and grass-fed organic? They actually have worse environmental impact. Happy to come back to it. Cheese! The reason vegetarians don't go vegan. But you have to realize, think about the number of times you're exposed to these lies and propaganda by dairy industry, got milk, and paying actors to tell you that you need to have milk. And this is the OG of marketing.
The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried got milk, and the sales are going like this. Got milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product.
I didn't even like milk, but as a kid, I was so convinced that that is my only source of calcium that I would just go close my nose and try to drink milk. And then, I'm also lactose intolerant. Who's lactose intolerant here? Raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, so you guys are normal, As human beings, we all have lactase and enzyme that digest lactose as babies because we're supposed to have breast milk. The gene for that switches off in adulthood. Actually, about 80% of people, especially people of colors, Mexican, black people, Asians, are lactose intolerant. So you may be suffering and you don't even know. But Caucasians, no offense, I think you guys are like mutants. You drank dairy so much until you acquired the mutation that allows you to have dairy. But joking aside, back then maybe it was necessary for survival. Today we don't do that because it's a matter of survival. We just like cheese and milk. And for God's sake, if you don't do it for animals, do it for acne. Literally any kind of whole milk, cheese, yogurt, this is a meta-analysis, right? It's a forest plot. All of it increases the risk of acne. So for the sake of your face, do it. We talked about what happens to male calves, right? Always, in all dairy farms, males don't produce milk. Even if it's grass-fed, you're a friendly farmer. And females are separated so that they can sell the milk to you. If you're drinking the milk, someone else isn't. As simple as that. So I want to show you a quick video. This is Fairlife. Fairlife is one of the biggest producers of dairy in the US.
The Animal Recovery Mission undercover in Arizona, and not just one dairy farm, but two, both supplying Coca-Cola's Fairlife milk and core power. This is ARM's third investigation covering 8 Fairlife facilities since 2019.
I'm Tim Golden with Fairlife. Animal care is foundational for Fairlife.
Newborn calves are chained and violently dragged away from their mothers at birth, simply for Fairlife and Coca-Cola to profit from the mother's milk.
I want you to understand these are not isolated cases. Even with Fairlife, this was the third investigation. Nothing really changes because as long as we are consuming meat, eggs, dairy, this is happening. I don't want to bullshit you, and that's why I'm on a green card, right? So I still risk my my immigration status to go inside and show you what happens to these animals. This is a local farm in Texas. And my shirt is black, my phone is black, so I just put the phone there. I asked if I can cuddle the cows, and that's how I got in. I always wanted to pet one of these cats. Could you show me one of these cats? Oh, okay. Thanks so much. I hope it's not a bother. No. Thank you. Thank you. from today? Like they were born today?
Yes, they're born today.
So you separate them from mom,
Yeah.
day one?
Day one.
So these are all female, right?
Yeah, all female.
What happens to the male ones? I'm talking about men, bulls.
No, the bulls.
Yeah, what happens to
They
them?
go right away.
To the slaughterhouse?
Their company is coming
Uh-huh.
and take it.
Okay. Do they raise them for meat or just kill them? Meat.
The other company too. $800.
That guy?
Bulls.
Bulls?
One.
$800.
Yes.
By the way, the free food is not a scam. There will be food. So the problem I want to show you is that was a small family farm, right? So you saw that day one, male calves had to be separated, already tagged $800. That's the core issue I'm asking you. We would not have tolerated that if that was dogs. So these cruelties, they are inherent to dairy and egg and meat industries. Please don't fall for certified cage-free, grass-fed, organic. These are marketing. This is cage-free, by the way. These labels are meant for consumers to feel better. For a chicken who's being killed and tortured, doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
So the last question I ask you, how easier should it get before we finally take action? So when you go to grocery store, literally all you have to do to say no to biggest form of oppression of all time is to choose something else from the menu. All you have to do, choose something else from the menu. You go to grocery stores, here you have Fairlife, I'm now dead inside, but when I was alive inside, I used to wear colorful clothes. I'm just like insects, so just like get attracted to color. Love this bottle, love the marketing, Fairlife, Fairlife. What a beautiful thing. But you saw what happens to animals. People who grab this bottle, I don't think they're bad people. I just think that they've never had the opportunity to think about what's behind it for once. Here you have another dairy brand that has happy animal on it, lying. Literally get anything else on this shelf. Like almond milk, soy milk, rice milk, coconut milk, oat milk, pick your favorite. No one has to like squeeze like almond's tits to get like almond milk, right? No one has to separate their Oreos. When you go vegan, you realize that Oreos are actually vegan. Not health food. I'm not saying like get a lot of Oreos, but you realize that it's so synthetic that it's actually vegan. French people say like I don't like vegan food. I'm like French fries and Oreos and I don't know like pico de gallo and guacamole, and they're like it's expensive. I'm like, when you go to Chipotle, literally just get you still get, you don't have to say goodbye to all the food that you like, right? So here you get the beans, you get corn, pico de gallo, guacamole, grilled veggies, the rice and the sauces. All you have to do is just replace that goddamn dead animal pieces with like, what do you call it, sofritos or whatever? Yeah, all you have to do. It's actually cheaper and healthier. I love lasagna. I still have lasagna. Tonight we're gonna have pizza. And if you're wondering about this, I now identify as Garfield because I love lasagna. And I'm lazy. I don't know how to cook. I take my self-confidence in biomedical sciences and labs, apply it to cooking. It doesn't even work. But here, you buy this 5-minute microwave, you have lasagna. Peanut butter, pasta, bagels, there's vegan fish, vegan ice cream. Literally, when you go to a store like Ben & Jerry's, half of them are actually dairy-free. All you have to do, spend 1 calorie, just turn this shit around and buy the one that says like non-dairy. That's all you have to do, not to support all the cruelty in dairy industry. And it tastes the same. You probably had it, you didn't even realize it was vegan. If you're dying from protein deficiency, there are like Clef bars and Luna bars. Starbucks favorite drinks are now based on like oat milk and almond. This Thanksgiving, instead of killing 60 million turkeys just so we say thanks and make aspirate, just get tofurkey and cause some family drama. Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, they are not health foods, but they are meant for you that if you really want to have some burger, you have options that you don't have to kill animals. When you go vegan, you don't have to say goodbye to your identity. Whether you are left or right or Christian or Muslim or atheist, you don't have to give up your identity. You just choose something else from the menu. Indeed, you just align your actions with your values. Here are some of the other vegan options: vegan chocolate and cheese and, I don't know, proteins and even eggs. But here is a few quick questions. Can you make a difference? No other form of injustice in the world ended because everyone did the right thing. Slavery didn't end because every single person did the right thing. Things change in society when a small number of thoughtful and determined individuals like you make a difference. First. Second, if you understand that this is a moral issue that we're talking about, if you saw what happens to animals and if you understand that this is injustice, see, if I'm not racist, racism doesn't go away in the world. If I'm not sexist, sexism, as long as people exist, people will do bad stuff. But that doesn't give you and I green light to be a part of it. People say it's hard to be vegan. If you ever think that going vegan is hard, it's because you're thinking about yourself. It's an injustice. The second that you think about the animals, going vegan becomes so easy. You don't think your diet is limited because you're not eating dogs, because you were conditioned to never think about dogs as a part of your diet. When I became vegan, despite the fact that I loved steak, if you put steak in front of me, I just get disgusted because to me it's not just steak. I remember the experience of that animal. If I see an egg, if I see cheese, I remember the videos that I just showed you. Raping a mother cow 6 or 7 times, separating her babies, stops being appetizing immediately. And what can you do? One of the best things that you can do is using your career and your voice. Like I said, in this country, free speech, amazing. You can say anything. There is no one more defenseless and voiceless than animals. So I'm not asking you to just go vegan. I'm asking you to actually take it. Veganism, I actually hate that there is a word for it. Vegans shouldn't identify. Veganism, all it means is rejection of exploitation of animals. If you are one of those people who says, I would never go vegan, just replace veganism with the definition. I would never stop exploiting animals. That's really what it means. I'm sure that you can do it. But it's a moral baseline. The next thing is, what are you going to do with your life and career? I always wanted to become a grumpy scientist, which I successfully accomplished that. But even when I was in biopharma, like I told you, I wasn't satisfied. Don't pursue happiness. Don't do things that make you momentarily happy. Pursue satisfaction. Do something that if you don't do, no one else would get it done. You can be a computer scientist, data scientist, artist, whatever you do. And you can pursue satisfaction and fight for the best cause in the world. These people, look at their eyes. They don't look that happy to me. Everyone, parent, society will ask you to do something that makes you happy. But if you are feeling happy, that just means that one day you're going to feel sad. I can inject you with chemicals and make you momentarily feel happy. But what you have to pursue is satisfaction, because then you can do something that is hard, but still be satisfied. I wasn't best buddies with these guys, but I guarantee if I went to them and I said, are you happy? They would have said, I'm satisfied. They would have said, there is nothing else I'd rather do. I'd rather die than do anything else. What is that job for you that you would rather die than do anything else? Think about that. Don't be a boring person. So get active, be courageous, have the courage to do something that is right, despite the fact that it's not legal or it's not moral, or sorry, it's not normal. So people, animal oppression, the most normalized form of cruelty. Have the courage to say no to it, even when it's convenient. I'm not asking you to do it because it's easy. I'm asking you to do it because it's the right thing to do. And get worse. If you'd seen what I've seen, you'd be just like me. I'm a prisoner of what I know. I'm a victim of what I've seen. I can't change. I won't change. I will never change. I'm only going to become worse. the more you look into this problem, the more fire you feel in your heart, and the more you can't understand how a civilized society like us let this happen. Everything I said is because I believe in you guys so much. And you have access to me, email me, message me on Instagram, anything, I'm yours. But please promise me, do something meaningful with your life, take this shit seriously, and use everything in your power, whether it's your voice, whether it's your career, whatever it is. Use it for these animals because they need you. It's the biggest blind spot in history. Thank you. So there is pizza, but we'll take a few questions and then we'll get the pizza. Ooh, it was heavy, huh? Okay, but thank you for staying with me. I know that it is uncomfortable. Talking about diet in general is very uncomfortable, but we have to have these conversations. Yes?
I know that you primarily talk on like college campuses, and so many college students have to eat at dining courts. So what is being done to like advocate for more vegan options?
Yeah, so ASAP chapters, what we do actually, we help students come together and work with dining halls to have more vegan options. I'll be happy to tell you about the projects that are going on, and Sam back there, he can tell you more about what's going on. But I tell you one thing that is completely unrelated to your question, but it's still important. In life, you always make a choice. You can go to the dining hall and say, they don't have the food that I like, it's not convenient, therefore I'm just gonna eat whatever they put in front of me. Or there's another type of personality that raises hell, that say, this is wrong, I'm paying this school, where's my good food? They write a review, they call the chef, they talk to the head chef and the director of hospitality, they get it done. A good group of people who do that is Jains in India, if you're familiar with them. It's a very tiny minority of Indians. I went to Colombia, they have a fully Jain dining hall. I was like, how many Jains do you have? They're like very few, they're just very vocal. The problem with most of us is when we see something wrong, we just don't do anything about it. Yes?
I saw in your beginning slide that that you give advising for effective thesis.
Yes.
So I'm only somewhat familiar with this organization, but do you provide like research questions for students who are interested in doing like research that'll help animals? And is this like a resource that'd be good for students in this room?
Exactly, yeah. So basically, if you want to like pick a topic for your thesis, that's like effective thesis. What's something that you can do to make the most impact? Yeah. Ask, guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume you're all going to become vegan activists. And Sam here, 1%, by the way, Sam and actually Brianna. Okay, thank you. These two guys held the flag up. They became vegan. They started like talking to other students, having table, just having these discussions. How often do you have to even think about what happens to animals in your normal day? Zero. It has been 0 incidents in Purdue, one of the best universities, that all these students, people like you, would come to this university, not a single time they have to learn about what happens to animals, but 2 people made it impossible. So please join them. If you need help, that's why they're here. Grab them humanely and say that, show me what to eat. There is actually a vegan restaurant here. What was it called? No, Zero? Yep. Yeah. Say that again.
No eatery.
Okay, that. So you actually have a fully vegan place here. It's a lot easier than what you think. So we are here to support you. When I became vegan, I didn't know a single vegan in my life. It just made sense, and I did it anyways. But I want to make it easier for you. And they will also help you get active and speak up.
So if there's laws against showing slaughterhouse footage, then there's like some vegan YouTubers that I know that do clearly show it. Like,
there's no law showing it, but in the US, in some farms, some states, it's illegal to do the undercover investigation. Once the video is out, anyone can show it. It would be a very bad day for the US and free speech if showing that was bad. It was illegal. Yes?
Are there any myths you didn't talk about today that you want people to know about veganism?
Myth? I think one of the biggest one is the protein, that people think that they don't get protein from plant-based foods. Any biochemistry major? How many amino acids are out there? Let's talk about that. Total. 20. But you're right, 9 are essential. All 20 amino acids are found in plants and animal products. When you eat proteins, your body chops it up into 20 amino acids. None of them are essential. You have to get it from diet. All 20 are found in plant sources as well. As long as you are eating enough protein and calories, no one. How many people have you seen dying from protein deficiency? It doesn't happen. It's only an issue for people who are not eating enough, like people who have like malnutrition. But unfortunately, we all, like when I talk about meat, or like, oh, that's a good source of protein. Tofu, seitan, legumes, rice, all of it, they have great amount of proteins. But yeah, that's a big one. And the other myth is, I think, humane. Everyone talks about like humane, but they have no idea. Humane is just a marketing.
I'm from India, and I am a Hindu. So in Hinduism, they say like cow is holy, and yet they would be consuming a lot of dairy. In scenarios like, yeah, exactly. So in scenarios like that, like what would be like, I've had to, have that conversation once, and it was like, oh, but like, we let the calf have the milk first, and then we take the leftover milk. Like, what would be your response to that argument?
A few things. First of all, what you described happened maybe a couple of 100 years ago in India. Today, India is one of the biggest beef exporters in the world, and the beef is basically the dairy cows that they steal. I've teach in India as well, and it's like you talk to a person and like, what do you do with the calves and the cows when they're dry? They call it dry. They're like, oh no, we don't kill them. We just sell them to someone else. And I was like, what do they do to the cow? They're like, I don't know. We just sell it. It's like out of my sight, right? My response to Christians, Hindus, Jains, the same thing, that you shouldn't take the teachings of the religion so superficially. You have to understand what it meant to say. Like in Hinduism, ahimsa, non-violence. It's like you can't get more violence than dairy industry, obviously. Right? That back then, when vegetarianism was coined, dairy and egg industry did not exist. Kosher and halal do not even cover eggs and dairy, because when they were coined, eggs and dairy industries weren't a thing. So how can we expect the religion to even like have anything against it? But really to help people to understand what's up with us. Like if you weren't conditioned to drink milk, what do I need to imagine you were born somewhere where drinking soy milk was normal. What do I need to do to convince you to please come to get some like titty juice from this cow and like drink it? You're like, ew. Can you imagine if you got like a hot chocolate with like human breast milk, or just cappuccino? It was like human breast milk just like foamed up. It just feels like disgusting. That's our own species, but somehow we got conditioned, right? So what is up with this idea that we think entitled to breast milk of someone else? It's not about whether they make extra. It's not about eggs that we are eating. Obviously, they're not fertilized. That's not the issue. The issue is that we've been conditioned to look at chickens as egg vending machines. No one says one day I will have some dogs, or they're going to have some puppies, and my dog will have some excess milk. I'm going to go squeeze this, tiny tits to get some like dog milk for my cappuccino. We don't think about it that way. Anything else?
How was your first month of going to meeting?
First month. I thought it was going to be very hard. It was Lubbock, Texas. I don't know if you know where Lubbock is. It's literally middle of nowhere in Texas. And I just discovered Domino's Pizza, and I was like, shit, there goes all the free food in graduate school. The biggest thing for me, it was hard for me because I literally thought that I have to eat lettuce and tomatoes for the rest of my life. I still did it anyways. But I really just thought, okay, no cheese, no ice cream, no nothing. But thankfully now it's a lot easier. First of all, like Beyond Burger, all this stuff didn't really exist. And really, it's just like you can search and find this stuff. Back then, I didn't have any guide. That's why ASAP exists to help you, anyone who wants to take. But at the core, it's going to be a little harder. There will be times you go to a party and someone puts, some cupcakes in front of you, and you know it has eggs. It's like between you, you're going to have that selfish, greedy prick side of you and me. We all have that. We also have that side that's courageous, kind, compassionate, logical. And they always fight. Like you're like, oh, I want to have that cookie, but you know that it has eggs or dairy. They fight, and hopefully the good part of us wins. And the second that it happens, you end up feeling better about yourself because you feel like you respected your own values.
Quick question. I'm Catholic, and it's very, very important to me, my faith, and I'm pretty involved in the Catholic community here at Purdue. How would you suggest, like, maybe talking and like discussing, like having a presentation, like did you ever do that in your, I don't know, your workplace, or like, and also especially coming from a very religious sense, like how to, I guess.
There's a documentary called How Would Jesus Kill? And the director is actually a devoted Christian. His dad was a pastor. So the whole idea is that it just actually talks about why Christians should be vegan. And you're vegan yourself? Yeah. So I think, again, it's one of those things that is completely aligned. There is no religion that says you are mandated to kill animals. All the religions, I really invite people to think about it. They're like, what is the foundation of that religion? What are the characteristics of your God or Jesus? If Jesus, right now, I'm not religious myself, but I know this, like if Jesus went to a dairy farm and saw a bunch of people with like arms shoved into a cow's anus separating their babies, Jesus would be, yes, that's exactly what I meant by dominion. And we interpret these things the way we like. We say like dominion. We have dominion over other animals, but when you actually look into it, dominion just means stewardship, right? But these are things people don't really think about. Like a father has dominion over his son. God has dominion over us. It doesn't mean that God exploits us. It means that he takes care of us, right? What's the saying? Like a good shepherd puts his life in front of.
Or he protects the last sheep.
Yeah, that.
Sheep wanders away.
Yeah, that, right?
Jesus is the good shepherd.
Yeah, but then we just try to twist religions to do horrible things, and every religion has done it. And by the way, we also use Bible to justify slavery. It doesn't mean that Bible was bad. It's just like people just do this sort of things. They twist, they cherry pick something to do horrible things. But yeah, I can talk to you about it. I'll connect you with the director.
Okay.
Would love to. I know you guys are probably hungry. I'm here to answer a question. Maybe I answer the last question, and there's pizza.
Respond to people saying that animals kill other animals,
Yeah.
as a justification.
I'm glad you mentioned that. The question is, how do you respond to people who say other animals kill other animals?
Yeah, so like we can too, because that's what animals like do to each other, and we're just a part of the food chain.
Yeah. So one, dairy. You looked at it. There is nothing about that that looks like a food chain to me. Two, it's appeal to nature fallacy. Just because it happens in nature doesn't make it right. Rape and like lions eat each other's babies. Can you imagine if I did that? If I raped someone, went to court and say, Your Honor, but lions do that, it's a part of nature. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, then in that case, a very good argument. Please go ahead. It's like stupid, right? And also, by the way, funny thing, most animals in nature are actually like herbivores or like vegetarian. It's interesting that we pick that one animal that does something that we want to do to just justify what we do. At the end of the day, lions, they don't have a moral compass. They don't make choices like we do. They don't have grocery stores. They live in a goddamn jungle. You're living in the middle of Purdue universities, right? All you have to do is choose something else on the menu. But yeah, appeal to nature fallacy. Yeah, all good. I'm going to be here. Thank you again for your time. I really appreciate you. You came at 6, and most of you even stayed here. So much respect and love to you. Get your pizza, and I'm here if you have any questions. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's all your hard work to get all these people.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It just gives me so much more confidence to see everybody and see you here. Can you be here all more time.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Paramedic.
I'm not a real.
Not a real one.
I wish.
What do you study?
I'm doing brain and behavioral science.
Very well. Nice.
And I wanna minor in chemistry and do something like drug research related.
Very nice. What got you interested in this? Brianna? Nice.
Yeah. I'm slowly trying to convert him.
Okay.
She told me there's free pizza.
Free pizza, yeah. It wasn't a scam, so.
Sam was taking we have plenty of pizza, by the way, so you can grab multiple slices.
Maybe we open another pizza somewhere else, like another seat.
I know. We could steal the stuff in the dining car. I keep suggesting this as an option. It would be more sustainable. And then they could just wash them. It's not stealing, it's borrowing.
I'm Jonathan.
Jonathan, nice to meet you.
I'm also a Christian. The one question I have, I guess, is since you're not religious, where you get your moral sense. Like, I don't know if you believe in evolution or like all that, but at least for me as a Christian, it doesn't make sense for us to like, speciesism, like but yet species naturally evolve to kill each other. Like that's just natural, the natural order of things if you believe in evolution. So at least for me, there seems to be a bit of an inconsistency there, and I was wondering what you...
So like I said, we don't base what we do today on what happens in nature, right?
Yes.
Like I said, other animals do horrible things to each other.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny because sometimes you see cats are supposed to eat like chickens.
Yeah.
They actually, when they're not hungry, they're not harming anyone.
Yeah.
The idea here is the intention that we eat animal products. It's bad for the environment. It causes pandemics, antibiotic resistance. It causes all these problems that doesn't just impact human animals, non-human animals. It also impacts humans, right?
Yeah.
So overall, when you do something that causes global malnutrition, not the greatest choice. So this whole food system causes an immense amount of suffering, not just to other animals, but to humans. So as a whole, we need to change it.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And where do I get my morality? I don't know. So for once, imagine like you weren't Christian. Would you have gone and raped people? If you weren't?
No, yeah, I think we naturally have a sense of right and wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that is given by the divine. That's
sure.
placed in
Like
us. That's
wherever
just
you think that comes from.
Yeah, we know we do wrong things.
Yeah.
It's not
And
like
I
we have
think-
this idea of something that is wrong. Like, how did we?
And I think a lot of it is also empathy. Like, I don't need to be you, but I know that if somebody like hurt you, I probably feels the same way. So you have the same empathy for like dogs. If I step on a dog's foot, they yelp and they feel bad.
Yeah.
You don't need a lecture of like 2-hour lecture. You feel bad if you step on a dog's foot. Except that we just like what happens to cows, pigs, chickens, just like the same pain, the same screaming, you just don't hear it because it doesn't happen in front of you. And there is no God, no religion that I know of that mandates, that says you're a bad Christian if you're vegan. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, no,
But,
I totally agree. In fact,
but they're
Paul
also-
writes, he's like, you can be meat or plant.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't commend or demean
Yeah.
either one. He says both are.
And even back then, when you have like for Christians 2,000 years ago, when they didn't have all these options,
It wasn't.
dairy wasn't a thing. No one was killing male calves. Like
It was a lot
none
more
of that really applied to.
Okay. Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it does make sense, but I don't know. There's still suffering in the world, and it seems like suffering is just a natural thing. Comes up. It's a condition. I think it's a condition of the heart.
But you wouldn't use that for any other form of injustice. You wouldn't be racist saying that, oh, but there is suffering in the world. This one is one that you are personally responsible for. If Jesus came here and saw that you're living your life, it's like being vegan is as easy as this. This, say, dog or a sheep is living it, their life. You don't have to harm them because you can clearly live. You're like, fuck you anyways.
Yeah.
You just stab them,
no,
right?
Yeah.
And then why? Because we like cheese.
Yeah.
All right. So if it's a matter of survival, if you're living in the middle of jungle and there's nothing else to eat or whatever, fair game. No, that's not exploitation. You're just trying to survive. The whole idea, the core idea is that you don't need meat, eggs, dairy today, at this time in history, to survive. You do it because habit, tradition, it tastes good, all that. Those are not good reasons to keep doing this.
Okay, so exploitation would be and I would completely agree, because stewardship and dominion, like God says, have dominion over the earth. It doesn't mean
dominion is fucking protected,
it's
right?
protecting, and so there's an element of that. I think the deeper question, though, and I don't want to challenge you on this, but I think it's helpful to think about is where suffering comes from, like why we do all these bad things. Like they're there, and we should address them. But like there's a root issue there that I think is not addressed. It's like
I'm not sure.
We're doing these bad things, but like how do we can try to stop those things, but yet those things, throughout history, whenever humanity's I think we're evil at heart. Like we're inclined to do evil. You don't have to tell a baby, okay, be good. You don't tell them be bad. Like they already naturally know how to misbehave, right? And so I'm just questioning like we're suffering. Like if we suffer and there is pain, where did suffering and pain originate? How do we? And I know
I'm not sure. I'm not a religious scholar.
Figuring it out, and I think it's good to have these conversations. I'm super thankful that you came. Like this is great.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate everything.
Thanks for giving an open mind.
Yeah, no.
Just remember, your knowledge is not going to change the world. It's going to be your actions and what you do.
Yeah.
And I think we absolutely need more religious people to showcase that you can be a good Christian and a devoted Catholic or whatever you are, and at the same time not eat animals. We need more of them.
Yeah, and I would it's not on me, it is on me, but like I'm just reflecting God, the God that I worship. Like I want to glorify Him in all that I do. So like if this is going to glorify Him, I'm all in. Yeah. And so I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
This was super helpful.
Yeah.
So really
Thank you. Yeah.
And I will grab pizza.
Yeah, go get some pizza.
I feel like I couldn't have conversations with people on the
What's up with your T-shirt?
Oh, I'm part of the student rocketry team.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Thank you for the talk.
Thank you.
It's really it's an honor to see somebody out here like doing this kind of thing professionally.
Yeah, you were nodding the whole time, so.
Yeah, this has been really cool. I'm a junior here now. I've been vegan for 8 years or so now.
Okay.
And
explains the nodding.
Yeah, I only met like 2 other vegans before this semester. There was like a little group chat that floated around on campus like when I was a freshman, and like we tried to meet up once. Like 4 people showed up, and like seeing like people like fill a room is like a lot more than I expected. It gives me a lot of hope. So.
Yeah. What made you go vegan?
It was a mix of. I was kind of like. I think it's the same kind of deal. Like the seed kind of got planted when I was little, and I was always uncomfortable with the concept of eating meat. And then like I started arguing with my friends about it more, and eventually I went vegetarian when I was like at the end of like middle school. And then I was vegetarian. I was looking at videos about it, and then pretty quickly I found like whoever it was, like Ed Winters or somebody along those lines. And I kind of, because I had the preconception that dairy and eggs are more or less harmless, right? Like, you just...
Yeah, we don't know, really, until we...
Totally, like, it's... You would never in a million years think about how brutal dairy is. Because you get the... It's just like you go there and you, like... It's a little weird, but you don't expect that.
I always thought, like, cows are milking machines, nothing bad happens.
Right, they're just chilling in the pasture, like... And, then I kind of argued with my parents about it for a bit. They thought I was going to die of malnutrition.
Yeah.
And then, like, a few months later, I ended up going vegan. And, it's been good. I still grew. Still, like, our MOI is still healthy.
What's your name?
I'm Max.
Max.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Faraz. Nice to meet you. How did you hear about this?
I forget who it was. The person who originally came to campus last semester from one of the other chapters, left up flyers, and I totally missed that
Conrad?
they were there.
Okay.
Yeah, Conrad. So I I totally missed them, and then like 2 weeks later, I saw one of them that was like kind of half torn, and then I was like looking, trying to find like who had left it because the QR code was missing. So I like got on the email list and stuff, and like I wasn't able to. I have like club commitments for this, so I wasn't able to like join like the executive
Competitions,
board for
you
this.
said?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm planning to step back from that after this semester, so I'm hoping to get more involved with ASAP. Like, you know, actually spend some time doing advocacy in person.
Yeah, it'll be the most meaningful thing you will do in your life.
Yeah.
Seriously, because wouldn't you want someone like when you were younger to just come and help you and say and show you the truth and take your hand?
Yeah.
And we get to be that person for so many other people.
Totally. I mean, a couple years after I went vegan, my uncle married a woman who's my aunt, and she's actually like an animal behaviorist. She works with elephants, and she's vegan, and she was the first like adult vegan like professional that I'd ever really like met. And I've had a lot of conversations with her over the years about this kind of stuff. It's been like a really good influence, you know, because I think like having that kind of like presence to explain that, to take you through things, to be like calm and professional, and you know, it's so weird that this stuff isn't that nobody realizes this, you know. Anyway.
Yeah, right on. I'm so glad that it makes sense why you were nodding the whole time.
Yeah. It's
so,
always hard to listen to, but I mean, somebody's got to say it.
Yeah. But every time just today, I gave a talk at Northwestern Law School.
Oh, that's
the person who organized it became vegan at the talk I gave at University of Wisconsin-Madison when he was a bachelor student. And now I had a full room of law students who listened to this talk, tailored to law students. But that just shows that every single time you talk to, like, I don't know, 100 people, one of them's got to go vegan.
Right.
And you're not going to convert some random stranger. It's going to be a student from Purdue, some like smart kid like yourself, you know? Do you know Sam?
Yeah, I've met him. They did a little meet and greet like a month or so ago. So I met a few of the people here.
Yeah.
There's even more people here.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a pleasure to
Yeah,
meet you.
nice to meet you too.
I hope it won't be the last time.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Max?
Max.
Max.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know the other university organizers? Like,
sorry, you mind if I get
Do you know the other university organizers for ASAP? Like, do you
Yeah.
know Grace at WashU?
Yeah, I better know my chapter lead.
I know like a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you do. I don't know. Like, I've met a few of them. They seem really cool. Who are the ASAP people at UW-Madison? I think I've met
Ryan?
some. Ryan? Okay, maybe not. I know someone named Jackson.
Jackson too, yeah.
Yeah, although I think he does a different animal advocacy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, your other one. Sorry.
Is that at EA Global?
Yeah. Yeah. They're really cool. They do good work.
And the other thing that
do you know Bob Fisher? I was calling him earlier today and asking about like the various research questions I could use in economics to help out with animal advocacy stuff. And one of the big things that he said was that like a lot of people a lot of the most important things are just the nitty gritty things, like coming up with talking to like factories and stuff or factory farms and talking about like various cost estimates.
Talking about, sorry, what?
Like doing detailed cost estimates of like cost estimates of like transitions to like one of the big things was like I believe for fish like doing things to like
Cost of what? Like chicken production?
it was like things that reduce disease and keep things safer.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's like not as good as going vegan fully, but like
We have a different, so EA focuses on like welfareism a lot. My goal is to inspire people to become like game changers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and like Bruce Frederick. You know Bruce?
I don't think so.
President of GFI.
Oh, okay.
Good Food Institute.
Yeah, Good Food Institute.
Most of donors of animal rights movement, they're vegan. It's not like let me just offset my egg consumption and just, it's like really people who become so fiery that they want to like end this like injustice forever.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, we can't actually end factory farming unless everybody goes vegan. Like, people need to stop eating meat if we want to make this happen.
Meat, eggs, dairy are literally the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think everyone needs to go. We need a certain percentage of people. One of the best things I've heard and think about is like, don't shoot for the end goal, shoot for the tipping point. Because if 5 to 10% of the population is vegan and then more and more people are ever, this talk that I gave, a few people will go vegan. Some of them are not going to go vegan immediately, maybe another exposure or two, then they will do it. And some of them will never go vegan. But now they know that there is a problem. If their son goes vegan, they're not going to be like, oh, no, you're going to die. They're like, yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. They're going to be supportive. Yeah. So I think that's really the theory of change.
That makes sense.
What was your name again? Sorry.
Roman.
Roman, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again for the help organizing this. I really appreciate it. Do you get pizza?
I'm not hungry. I didn't before.
Yeah, hi.
My name's Savannah.
Savannah? Nice to meet
I don't know
you.
if you remember, but I wrote the
Yeah, come here.
I wrote the X-Men article on the chapter.
Oh,
here,
yes.
So,
Yeah.
So it's really cool to get a shout out.
Thank you. That was really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought your presentation was really good.
What was it?
I really liked your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was vegetarian for 6 years, and I just went vegan this year, and it was originally a challenge. I was gonna go vegan for a month.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm gonna go back to being vegetarian. But I feel like your presentation reminded me why I went vegetarian in the first place. And as a kid, that initial love for animals and stuff. So I'm like, wait, maybe I'll just keep being vegan.
Yeah.
So it was really cool.
So easy when you think about the animals.
Mm-hmm. You really can't look at it the same. Because I've been feeling a lot of guilt about thinking about going back to vegetarianism when I know that it's wrong. The cognitive dissonance, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Don't do something that makes you feel worse and harms animals.
And I brought my friends too, so
Yeah.
hopefully they'll convert.
Yeah, you can literally make that decision at any given point, and it's ask any vegan, they would tell you that their biggest regret is not doing it earlier. And that moment that they sort of went back and forth and instead of doing it.
Yeah.
Because animals who die in that moment, you can't undo that. But it sounds like you had the right idea from childhood. We all do, really.
Yeah.
You just get conditioned. And it's for a kid, that kid that loved that. She said I'm not gonna miss eating chicken. I'm not gonna. It's but somehow when you become our age, you're like, oh no, I can never go vegan because I love. Okay, 6-year-old has the courage to say I'm not gonna do that. Fish are animals. I'm not gonna miss eating fish.
They can have more self-control than theoretically.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. That's bizarre.
So obviously that is in us. We just tell ourselves oh, it's hard, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I think the value of doing it is because it's hard. Nothing that's good in world is easy. You didn't get into Purdue just because it was easy. You had to sacrifice. You had to have self-control. Your friends partied. You decided not to party and study hard to get into here.
Yeah.
Right. And same thing.
Kind of what you alluded to, when you align your values with your actions, you do feel better. I think about yourself and the world around you. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. What was your name again?
Savannah.
Savannah.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Please join Sam.
Yeah.
This would be a fun. He's alone. A lot of times he's alone. He has to do literally 1 or 2 people. But what it takes to bring this education to I don't know 40,000 other students, you get to be the person who gives people this gift. As if someone else, imagine if someone else came to you sooner and said, hey, wake up. Most of them are clueless. Most of them are good people, had never wondered what happens to chickens and cows, for instance, right? You get to be the person who will forever change their lives. And oftentimes he has to do it alone. And so just having another person helping him will be a great help. So Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so like when that gets stuck in your throat.
That statistic. Heart disease, number one, all caused by him.
So Martin, the reason I initially went vegan was just because like I met someone in high school who was vegan, and then like they didn't really like it was my girlfriend at the time, and then I just like she didn't really like push it on to me, or we didn't really talk about it a whole lot.
Did you get some pizza?
Then eventually, I mean, I just became interested, and I read Edward's book.
I was just trying to ask about, like, because I wanted to. I'm just waiting, because if I did, I just don't know how, I just haven't been able to get into the conversation yet.
Which conversation?
Oh, I wanted to ask Sam about if I could table this week.
Oh, table this week? Yeah.
And a big part is like, I never had everything for animals. Like, I didn't care about dogs or cats. Like, I have actually, like, I've seen my mom throw water on dogs because it was smelling outside our apartment and they were just taking shelter from rain. And I've seen her do that and I thought it was okay. And I came to Purdue and my dad had a heart attack and I lost my grandmother. And Angel had gone to his apartment and he was like, hey, my friend had like, you know, puppies, let's go see them. And I was like, I'm not really interested or anything. I went and I saw she was the runt of the litter, a full black German Shepherd. And
Sorry, quick question. How did you learn about this talk?
I learned about it through a friend.
Through a friend? What about you? Flyer? Where was the flyer at? Where was the flyer at?
It's like the street where you cross into like
Okay. On the street?
the academic side, like where the classrooms are.
What was the flyer? The best speech or meets the lies?
Oh, I think it was the yellow one.
The yellow.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. But
Was it this?
yeah, that one.
Yeah. Nice. What got you curious to come?
I don't know. I kind of have more free time today, so I just
Free time?
had nothing to do.
Okay. What about you?
I heard about it from a friend that he sent me the one about like this is the best speech ever.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll be an open mind. I knew it was about veganism,
Yeah.
but like I wanted to like keep an open mind and explore new perspectives.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. And I'm an environmental engineer, so I want to like reduce emissions and reduce our impact on the environment, and make sure like we as humans and the planet can live like for at least another like 100, 200 years,
Yeah.
right? So
I didn't even get a chance to go into like climate stuff, because like but the tricky thing is it's not just meat, it's also dairy, because dairy and meat are literally the same thing.
yeah. I'm the worst offender. Every meal at the dining courts, I had 2 glasses of milk. Like I'm probably one of the worst offenders. My actions do not align with.
Well, at least you see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So the reason I focus on the environment a little less, it's a lot easier to like let yourself down when it's about the environment, and you can always sort of offset your carbon footprint, right? You can like pay for like trees to be planted, blah blah blah. When you buy a flight ticket, you can always pay a little extra to offset, blah blah blah. But when you like think about the animal itself, like that offsetting doesn't really work. You know, it like naturally just stops being appetizing the second you connect with the animal.
When you close the emotional distance, because meat companies want to bring it out.
Yeah, you got it. And then like so simple. Yeah, there are like tens of different types of like plant-based milk. oats and soy and rice and coconut. It's like hazelnut and macadamia and like so many. Like you'll find something that like tastes good to you. Does that make sense?
I love soy milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually the best.
Yeah.
I'm an oat milk guy, but you can figure it out. And but I would say this: the diet in environmental studies is the most neglected one. Like everyone is trying to talk about fossil fuels and this and that. No one is talking about the diet. If we don't fix the food system, even if you got rid of the entire fossil fuel industry, we're still not going to be able to like prevent climate change.
I'm sure a lot of the industry is using fossil fuels.
Yeah. And so the land use is a big part. So because you have to cut down all the trees and have like.
That's the foundation of it. Transportation is like 20%. Industry is like another.
Yeah.
20-30.
So to me, an environmentalist who consumes meat, eggs, dairy, mostly animal products, it's like almost like a scientist who works on like plastic pollution, but they like litter. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like my research is on how to like digest proteins with like this fungus or whatever, but then like you go and litter. It doesn't make sense. What I hope that you take away from this is to have that courage to be a leader. Not just some random person who just like is interested in this topic, but like a fucking leader who's like changes the world, right? I had a professor who works on antibiotic resistance. The first slide was, well, where does it come from? Most of antibiotics is like fed to animals anyways, and then like 2 hours of like, I was like, what do you mean anyways? Like that's the biggest source of like antibiotic. Can we like spend a little more time like talk about that? Does that make sense? So don't be one of those people who say like, yeah, anyways. It's, you get to, when you finally make these choices, it's not just about you not eating animal products, you impact people around you. And people around you are not going to be some like random people, they're going to be intellectuals like yourself. If there is one hope that the world will do better, it's like when intellectuals like you take responsibility. My expectations, plainly said, I expect more from you than anyone else, Does it make sense?
Yes. Yeah. It starts with me.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that if I, like, when I'm, like, graduating college, I'm, like, in an apartment, and I have a lot more options. Like, I go to a Walmart, and I have, like, the vegan options of, like, all the stuff you showed, right? Of, like, pizza and Impossible Burgers. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, I can make the switch a little bit easier, but with the dining courts especially, like, their options are...
So, like I said, absolutely, probably it's harder now, right?
Yeah.
But is it possible? The question is it possible?
Probably.
And who has it harder, you or the like cow that I showed? That's a real question. If you think about the victim, it always becomes easier. And you haven't done it. There are options here that you probably just didn't even know because you just haven't looked for it. I travel every single day. I'm always in a new place. I always find out something. And the good thing about the ethics is like, if you love dogs, I don't know, like you would never go home and eat your dogs because it's easy, it saves you money. It's just not a question. You will go home, you will sleep hungry, you will not eat the dog. So you would never say like, I wait until I graduate from college and then stop being racist because it's like uncomfortable now. It's like harder because my friends are racist. Whenever I live by myself, it doesn't work that way. Does it make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If it's the right thing to do, which sounds like you already know, so fucking do it. It's not rocket. It's not harder than getting in Purdue. It's not. It's like you'll figure this shit out, and that's why these people exist. Like message him and say, I need food, deliver food for him. We'll figure it out. Those are problems. You're a fucking engineer, right? The whole idea is that when there is no solution, you make one. Right?
Why would I make a problem for myself when I don't think there is one?
What do you mean?
Like, okay. Allow me to poke. Can I?
Go for it.
Okay. If I
Yeah. One thing
If I have if I already get the protein I need and all of the nutrients I need mostly from grain and then some from meat.
Immediately. So, and then he says,
what is the motivation behind switching other than the value of kindness as a human being? Like we have the power to be compassionate and we have like a higher order brain capacity to play social games with people, to have like to increase like your own status and like make yourself appear more valuable. All these sort of complex games, we're able to show compassion towards other beings because we need it. Like it increases our survival.
You're making it way too philosophical. If you step on a dog's foot and they yelp, what's your reaction?
I'm sorry.
It's like, from my perspective, you're just trying to philosophize and find a way to say, how do I know, like if I get my proteins, why should I be kind? These are things, like that kid. The kid already knows. The kid inside you already knows that like you step on a dog's foot, you're not going to say, I don't know, do you really suffer? Why should I not cause suffering to you? You know it's the poor thing. It's just, eating meat, eggs, dairy, the suffering is so distant from you that it's just so easy to say that.
There's suffering by not eating.
Mm-hmm.
Is there suffering by not eating?
No, they are like literally born in captivity because we keep buying these products, right? So when the industry changes, we stop breeding them. And they're all genetically manipulated, by the way. They're not like naturally like natural animals. They're like all selectively bred to get fat, and because of that, they oftentimes get really sick. The chickens, like they get so fat so quickly, they can't even, like they have joint problems. They can't stand. It's a lifetime of torture. Only an actual psychopath could just like look at what happens and says like, I just don't care. The reason for us, it just becomes really easy to ignore, is just because it doesn't happen in front of you. If it was running after a squirrel, was like beating a squirrel on campus, you are gonna come and say, hey man, what's going on with you, right? That, and also, generally speaking, when you are not the person who's being hurt, when you are not the victim, it's a lot easier to say, why should I care? But if you're, like imagine if you're in trouble and someone is hurting you, I'm trying to like stop them and I'm like, why should I care? This is easy to be us and say, why should I care? But like for that cow, has to be raped 6 times. Every single time. Imagine like like my mom. Somebody raped her 6 times every single time, separated her baby. That emotional damage that you call like suffering, and eventually killing her. Every single time she makes milk for her baby, you're taking it. It's like you need to connect with reality. It's a living hell for these animals.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
What if it's a projection of our suffering onto these animals?
But that's also true about us.
Yeah, we project.
Like, I don't want to hurt you because that's empathy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. You're saying it as if it's a bad thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So it's also backed by science. It's not just projection. It's like I can look at the brain of a dog and a cow. Cow literally make the same hormones as a mother after pregnancy. When you like oxytocin and the same hormones, right? You look at their brain; they have the same neurons. They have memory. They have their own social life. Yeah, they like recognize like their family members. Sometimes up to 100 other individuals in their tribes. And so, like scientifically backed, you can just say, based on the best evidence that we have today, we are very confident that this dog, this cow, this chicken, this fish can feel pain, can suffer. And it's not rocket science. You have a way of living without causing that suffering to others.
That's true.
What's your name?
I'm Chris.
Chris Faraz.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
How's it
Had a
going?
good time.
Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed your talk.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. I like how you
Thanks.
I like how you put it together and you kind of you mix together the passion with also some humor, and I really admire that.
Thank you.
Helps grab people's attention, keeps them refreshed.
Yeah.
If you're serious the whole time, people will lose interest.
Yeah.
You gotta refresh it with some humor.
It was a good crowd, I have to say. Because I always like look at who's yawning, who's like distracted. The hardest thing for me is like when anyone opens a door, like you lose everyone for 10 seconds. And it's like
Is that why you stopped when
people stop listening. Every time the door opens, it's like everyone is like completely zoned out. Like I can tell. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wait.
That's smart. I admire the ability to wait, pause, and deal with that sort of silence for a moment before continuing again.
Especially you said you have ADHD, doing that.
For me, it's very distracting. Yeah.
I saw you.
I was earlier today. I probably haven't, so I understand.
Yeah.
I know I have.
Yeah. So like the smallest distraction. But it was a very good crowd. Nonetheless, most of the people, they showed up on time. They stayed. I love this university. Swear to God, this is like one of the best campuses I've ever been. I don't know what's so unique about Purdue.
So what makes it different? Like, what is something you experience at other campuses that it's better?
Just open-minded students. We didn't get canceled when we were doing tabling. We pretend we sell dog meat. Did you see that event?
I think you told me about it.
I told him about it.
So we always have some administration person who gets somebody complains or like, oh, whatever, or they don't understand what's happening. We get cops called, or like admin comes. There's always something.
I think it kind of supports your argument too.
Yeah.
It's just why do we have so much reaction to this but not?
Yeah. No, yeah, you told me. But yeah, students were very open-minded, very receptive, very quiet. I love this university. I don't know why.
It's the people. I came here for the people.
Yeah.
That was the biggest.
I feel it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a community that makes it.
Yeah.
I hope your family is okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
I wish you and your family all the best.
Thank you.
Hope they make it out okay.
Yeah.
I know that must be weighing on your mind.
Yeah. The day before yesterday, I think they killed the leader of Iran.
Yeah, they did.
It was the first time in my life that I woke up. He's been in office since 1989. That's when I was born.
So was that
literally every single day of my life, this man was in office, oppressing people. And for once, waking up without him in my world was like.
How did you feel about that?
Like vacuum. It's like you feel like good, I guess, but also shitty because first you are happy that a person is dead, and that's a conflict because you are like.
Well, it depends on who it is.
Sure.
You're happy their ideology died with them.
But also part of it is I wish they were alive so that they could be held accountable in an actual court. It's too easy to just die for all the crimes that you've done. You just died once. I feel like it's. Yeah. Yeah.
They did this and they're like, haha, screw you, and then they just leave.
They probably didn't even have that moment. It was like a rocket done. It's like too quick of a death. I wish there was some accountability, but I'm just happy that it ended one way or another. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a few others as well.
Yeah.
The Islamic Revolution.
It's the closest it has ever gotten to people having some power to change things. So.
You think it's for the better?
For Iranians, for sure. I don't know if we can finally overthrow the government, but if not this time, I don't know what else could do it. Because people tried. It's not like they didn't. They killed 40,000 people on the streets. 40,000 people. It's like.
So this is the window of opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you think that not necessarily shifting our attention to the killing of animals, but treating animals humanely might help us with treating our own species humanely?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You mean you're not talking about like humane killing. You're just saying like
No.
respecting animals, right?
Yeah, so like instead of, because I've noticed that a lot of people now are like focused on humans and like each other, like trying to outcompete each other. What if we divert our like focus towards a shared goal, which is like animals? And
That's one beauty of veganism. I think it can like everyone agrees that everyone loves animals. Like most people respect animals.
It's nothing to do with humans, but like humans can all get behind it. Because
Yeah,
it doesn't have to do with
that's that
each other.
one thing that I think like Republicans and liberals and everyone has in common, like Christians and Hindus. Today we had a Hindu, today we had a Christian who's vegan. That alone,
there are vegan conservatives as well.
Yeah.
that alone shows you that that's that one thing that can actually like unite people instead of like divide us.
I think people can all get behind climate change as well. It's just that when like the human aspect of like selfishness or just like businesses come along with the human component of it, like against one another comes in, then it becomes difficult.
For sure.
Like, everyone's not all agreeing on how to get there.
Yeah.
They have their own interests.
For sure.
Well, I have to get out.
Sure.
Thank you once again.
Yeah,
Great
it's my
talking.
pleasure. Thanks. Yeah, help Sam, please. Seriously, like it'll be one of the most of these people, most of your peers, they never have an opportunity to learn about that. You get to be this, someone who can like forever change your lives. And it only changes when people speak up. Just being vegan is not even enough, Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. All right. See you around.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And thanks for letting me prod into
no
it
worries.
a little bit. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, nice to see you again. Yeah, what was your name? Elizabeth? Nice. Thank you.
I didn't know you couldn't go back.
Yeah.
They can't be.
Yeah, both. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for coming again. Good luck.
Is there going to be something after this? Because I just want to show something.
I don't think there's something after this. I have to leave. I have to go back to Chicago.
Okay, because yeah, I thought it was like in the group.
Maybe, I don't know if they planned something. Maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe it's just maybe it's just.
Support asking. I'm gonna get some water.
Yeah, and I think that's for a reason.
Oh, okay.
It's from like
exactly. It's so nice.
Like short forms. Those are less places. Yeah. Hang out are moving the fastest, and like I think like sometimes.
I'm losing my voice. I'm just like drinking nightcall.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You guys made the.
Huh?
You guys made the trip. 2 hours.
And it was completely worth it.
Thank you.
I would have not missed a single chance
Thank you.
to get to see you talk. And honestly, like you inspired me to. I have already my activism account. Like I got it right after I remember talking to you about the museum incident with Chicago, the Museum of Science and Industry. I remember messaging you and. We got a refund and I was like, I cannot just like, be idle. I need to talk. I created my account and then it's always like, I'm scared of speaking up. And then when I saw you today with like just putting yourself out there, I'm gonna go back and I took some pictures to remember what notes and what things I want to say, and I'm gonna start creating content myself.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like I was talking to Sam as well that I would like to come for tabling, and maybe we want to put out some cookies for someone to take or just cupcakes. I'm like more than willing to get that. Maybe just like get vegan food for activists.
My favorite thing is I give people Oreos and I say these are magical cookies. They're like, why? And I was like, they don't have eggs and dairy. Do you know why? That just becomes a moment where you can tell them the problem with eggs and dairy. But at the end of the day, there is something called like holding people accountable. And it doesn't mean that you have to confront people. It doesn't mean that you have to be mean and angry at people. But it's like helping people that as long as you're not vegan, this is what you're paying for. That has to be very clear. But it doesn't have to be like angry. You can just say, it can come from a place of kindness and compassion. Otherwise, people just eat something tasty and they just walk away.
What do you say to people who say that, okay, I'm going to stay a hypocrite? I get everything you say, I agree, I have nothing to say back to you, but I'm a hypocrite. What do you do then?
Yeah, so I say that one of my favorite things to say is like, is this the person you aspire to be? Like, is your life goal to be a hypocrite? Do you rather die a hypocrite, or do you think there is a better version of you? One question I'd like to ask is like, I said like, what's your name? And they say whatever. I say like, okay, Chris. There is Chris version A and Chris version B. Chris version A know that there is a problem and just says I'm a hypocrite. Chris version B has the courage to say that not only this is wrong, but also I'm gonna actually like fight for it and change it and help others. Which version of Chris do you want? I don't think they're gonna say version A, right? So they're gonna say version B, and we're like, well, that's your chance today. Just acknowledging that there is a problem is not good enough. That's not an excuse to continue. And you can be firm. You can be respectful and firm. Just say, 200 years ago, you couldn't just have slaves and say, I acknowledge that I'm a hypocrite and I shouldn't have slaves, but here we go. It's like you would have never done that. You wouldn't dare to say that you would have done that, right? You would. No
That
one.
is actually very helpful because this was a conversation that I had with one of my coworkers, and she was talking about like capitalism, and she's like a very, person with leftist ideology, like understands that exploitation is wrong, operation is wrong, and she was like, but you would never say to me, right, to like not eat meat, and I was like, actually I would, and then I gave her examples, and she was like, yeah, like but I grew up poor and I didn't have
Excuses.
and excuses, and then she was like, no, I gave more examples and everything, and she was like, you know what, I agree to everything you say, but I'm a hypocrite, and that's where like the psychological block comes that if I push her any further, like there's a work relationship that I need to maintain.
With work
and
is a
stuff.
little tricky because you don't want to like, you're gonna meet them every single day.
Yeah.
I kept my big push when it was like the last day of my work. I like really caused lots of drama that my last day. I gave everyone a book and I said, hey man, like I didn't have this conversation, but whatever. But yeah, you can always like respect. If you're also worried about pushing and say, hey, I know like this is gonna be tough. I know that this is gonna be a tough conversation, but the reason I'm even bringing this to you is because how much I care about you. If I didn't care about you, why wouldn't I even bring it up? And I think that just you telling me that you're a hypocrite is not good enough. I know that you can do better. And I'm here to help you, to give you a help that I didn't have.
Kind of reckoning their empathy that they already have.
Yeah, they do have it. And then if you say that, like it's very clear that you're not coming from a judgmental place. You're coming from a place that you just want to genuinely help them. And at the end of the day, you have like 10 colleagues. Most of your impact is going to be people around you, right? If I just wanted to focus on my colleagues and family, that would be 10 people. But then you can come and talk to students and,
And that's why I believe in ASAP so much.
Thank you.
And that's why I truly, truly respect you so much, Dr. Faraz, for dedicating your life to building this organization, which is going to have impact that's going to outlive all of us. Like, I truly trust in ASAP, and and that's what I was talking to Sam about. I want to support, like, I wish that I knew about you, I knew about ASAP when I was at Purdue, when we were at Purdue.
There was nothing like this. I don't ever remember walking around here and seeing anything like this in my bachelor's years.
And like I said, I was Hindu, and there are days that we don't eat meat. And I actually said that, Mom, there's not enough vegetarian options, so I'm just going to eat meat every day. And I made that change at Purdue after I came from India.
Nice.
And from that to going vegan, now I was just telling Sam that my biggest problem being a vegan is it's not hard because of the food, my clothes, or anything. It's accessible for me very easily in a country like US, even in India, but especially in US. My difficulty is seeing people around me say that they like that cognitive dissonance. It's so frustrating, but I need to hold it all calmly inside me.
Okay, so one thing I learned is like the feeling that you feel, I feel that every single day. I go for a walk to clear my mind. I go take a shower to just like relax. I can't. All I'm thinking about is like why, like the scenario in my head when I go for a walk is like why other people can't get it. And every time I go for a walk in my neighborhood and I see people with their dogs, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna go back home and eat animals. Like, why can't you get it? But put that anger in your heart, use it as your fire, use it as to ignite that fire. all these people you see, you know, I'm sure they were angry. I'm sure, like, can you imagine saying something as obvious as slavery and racism is wrong, and people are like, what? What are you talking about? Imagine how angry you would be. I mean, look at their, like, for real, just look at their eyes. But I think they managed to put that anger into their leadership, right?
And that's the thing that I do a lot of public speaking. I go to a lot of cybersecurity conferences. I have that. I need to just harness it for this. And then, like Sam was saying, like, but I don't want you to get fired, or like, but I'm like exactly what you said. I am sure happy doing cybersecurity. I get paid for that. But this is where my satisfaction lies. This is where my morals truly align. And
you live this life once, right? Like I was giving a talk at Northwestern this morning. It's like patent law. Really? So you can become a lawyer and make a fuck ton of money. At the end of the day, if I went to this lawyer who's the best patent law lawyer, and it's like, are you happy? Is this all there is to life? That you fight for this like random corporation and defend their rights? Is that like truly satisfying? Would you ever be in a position that you say, I'd rather die than do anything else? Like, I'd rather die. I would never want to do anything but like patent law. Of course not. You just get dragged into the different things in life.
And that's one thing. I remember we went to watch a movie. So I am from, I don't know how much you know about India, but I'm from Mumbai.
Yeah, my co-founder is from Mumbai.
Huh?
My co-founder is from Mumbai.
Oh, really? Who is it?
Darius Dubash.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I'm from Mumbai. Mumbai is from Maharashtra, and I know for a certain fact that a whole lot of my identity as a Hindu and someone from Maharashtra. I don't know if you know about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So he was like, and that is the name of the Mumbai airport as well, the international one.
Okay.
That's named after that king, and he actually fought against the Mughal invasion. And we really look up to this king because he helped us have our identity. And it is said that in Maharashtra that you live like, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and you die like his son. And recently a movie came and he died for his identity, and he was like given the most cruelest treatment by the Mughals. They ripped out his nails, they gouged out his eyes, they cut off his tongue.
Mughals?
Mughals, yeah. Aurangzeb, and they did the most horrific things. They beat him up and then rubbed salt on it, but he didn't give up. And he didn't give up just for this identity, for me to live today with this name, with the faith that I have. And he didn't know that whether any of that sacrifice was ever going to, like, Aurangzeb could have won for all it cared, but he still fought. He still endured all of that torture, and he stood for what he believed in.
Exactly.
If that is what gives me the identity today, I deserve and I should be doing the right thing for someone who is helpless.
Yeah. If we all have insecurities inside us, like we're insecure. Like, what if somebody judges us? What if this, that? But the question to ask is like, what would he do in that situation? What would MLK do? Rosa Parks, exactly. Like, she didn't know that not giving up a seat would lead to something so much bigger. All she knew was, this is the right thing to do and I need to do it. And that's where you get your courage. There hasn't been a single time in my life that I thought that I needed to do something and I ended up doing it and I regretted it. Like when I saw like someone buying like a fishing pole in like Walmart, I was like, oh my God, like so weird. Like, how do I even go to this person and say, man, like what's up with fishing pole? But I did it anyways, and I felt great about it. The only time in my life I felt worse is when I thought I had to do something and I just didn't. I lost my courage, lost the chance. That's the only regrets I have.
I still remember your story that you posted when you were in a flight and there was someone sitting right next to you eating something, and I remember showing it to Angel, and you just played like the Dominion clip, and then you started the conversation, and I was like, that is what I aspire to be. I want to overcome my fears. I want to overcome that, anxiety, that general social anxiety that you feel, that you don't want to,
Tell me about
ruffle
it.
feathers and, hold the...
Oh, that's your cookies.
thing about like, like luckily I have my green card too now.
Good.
But before that, like it was like, everything is so precarious. Like I don't want to be too outspoken at work, get fired and get sent back, and like all of that. But like you did in that moment, doing the right thing. Sometimes, like I mean, you said you are an introvert. I'm an introvert too. Sometimes next to him, I look like an extrovert because he's more introverted than me. But I am an introvert too. I don't feel comfortable like just starting conversation or having small talk. But like when I saw you do it, it was like.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Faraz will have to leave, but I'm going to ask for one small favor. Can I take a picture with
Of
you?
course, of course.
And take it away.
They have then replicating everything else. Where does that come from? So I was
I actually wore this one for the first time.
I love it.
It is from the farm that we go to volunteer, and that is started going to this vegan joint. It's a food truck that comes to the farmers market, and from them we came to know about this farm, which is Oinking Acres. They rescue pigs. So this is the pig Trixie. She jumped off an I-465. She jumped off the truck, and everybody used to come up, and I actually used to tell them her story, and they were like, "Oh, so are these little piglets her? Is she the mother?" And I'm like, "No, actually, she's just a baby. She's just 6 months old, and they feed her shit, and they feed her just so that they can make her like they can rape her and make her go through pregnancies and then slaughter her. And those piglets, they're just a couple of months apart from her.
Yeah.
They're all escaping. Like they're so small, they didn't know what life in front of them. They just wanted to live so bad, and that's why they did that. And that's why long live
I
the
love
ones
that.
got away.
Yeah.
And we love them so much. Like when I was seeing that, I saw my little Toby and Turnip and Trixie, and that just broke me in different ways.
Yeah. And since you're around, Sam is a fantastic person. He's like one of the best students I've ever had.
Absolutely.
So please support him. Just encourage him. He's gonna be alone until
We've
like.
joined the Discord, and I'm going to text him. And like he's also in cybersecurity.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's one
good,
thing.
good.
Like I was like, hey, if you need ever internship or anything, just
Nice.
text me. Like that's one thing off your plate. Like I can
Okay.
help you out. Like I know a lot of people in the
Very
industry
well.
already. So one thing off your plate, but let's do this
Yeah, yeah.
together. And this is like Purdue means a lot to me. I'm an angel here.
I see a lot of potential for this chapter with his leadership, and he's gonna be here for 4 years. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be.
I trust him with my life. So
He's a great, He has clarity of thought. Like he's young, and that's what ASAP is all about.
Yeah.
Like getting more SAMs.
More people like him. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And I will support it in every single way.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
I'll come in with the cookies, and that's like.
I grabbed some pizzas, by the way.
Oh, we ate a lot. We actually ate like maybe the most.
Well, there's still more left.
We actually like we have tried like pretty much every pizza, but our favorite one is in New York. It's called the Urban Vegan Kitchen. Really, the best pizza we have ever had. Like we always go to different, and I like that's one series that I want to start, like vegan food around like US, like so people get to know more. And it's just normal. Like sometimes I give like vegan food to my non-vegan people, and they're like, oh, like they don't even realize it's vegan. And then sometimes that bias kicks in. Oh, it's vegan. Yeah, I could tell, and blah blah blah. But when you ate, you didn't know. Like you when you didn't have any bias, when you didn't know, and then your bias kicks in. Like that is your point of understanding that this is a learned behavior. This is not something that's innate to you. This is a learned behavior, and you clearly saw that. You didn't identify it when you ate it. You only identified after I told you. So, which means like even the kids example, like innately we want to like we care about it. We know that Nemo in that fish tank is wrong. We felt hurt when Bambi's mother was killed. Like we feel all of that. We already innately care. We're just taught that we shouldn't. It's okay to prioritize your taste and your comfort over everything else, over them. And which is not right.
And I guess something will come out. I want to interrupt this.
No, no, go ahead.
But I got one question for you. You know how vegans are always seen as not as strong. Sports people, right? They're athletes. That it can be done. And right now I'm with my coworkers there, and I always get thrown some joke, some like little stand, always snap at. Or like, oh yeah, you're not gonna have enough protein. You're not gonna look at me like I'm this strong. So, like, I guess to stay within the realm of that workplace and not like cause a scene. Like, how would you even like tackle that with? I know like chill, or how would you like go about
I
that?
think expressing how you feel to people, communicate. You're saddened by their behavior, right? To them, it's literally just a joke. Yeah, they're like guys tease each other, right? But in this case, they would have never dared to joke about it if you didn't eat meat, eggs, dairy for religious reasons. If you started like praying in the middle of this room right now, no one would dare to challenge your religious, even if it was some like stupid thing that like people will still respect that. They only dare to do that when. But I had a friend in a group chat. He's a medical student. His other friends like made fun of him, and like lots of people started like giving it thumbs up and laughing. And in a big group chat, 200 people. He said, I'm plant-based for health and vegan for ethical reasons, but I guess it's okay to make fun of that. He just said that. I think it's okay to make fun of that. I guess he technically said, I think it's not fucked up to laugh at that or something like that. Suddenly the guy messaged him privately, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Remove the message, everyone like remove the thumbs up. And those people will never again make fun of it, because now they realize that this wasn't just some thing to joke about. They understand. To them, they don't know that this is an ethical choice. Or like, so I don't think people get mad if you just tell them very kindly that, hey, you know, it makes me feel uneasy when you joke, because in reality, I'm doing it because I've learned what happens to animals. Indeed, I used to be in your place. That because I'm an opportunity to actually lecture them a little bit. I used to be your place. I ate meat, eggs, dairy. I didn't stop because I stopped liking the taste of meat. I just saw it opened my eyes.
Yeah, the only issue with them is that they continue on with, well, I like my cow, or I like pork, so I'm not going to change that.
You have to put them to see. So one of the examples that just happened today with the Iran conflict, and I didn't share it with you as well, was our co-workers were discussing that, and they said that, oh, but like they were just joking because, you know, a lot of US citizens don't get the gravity, or they don't are not knowledgeable about what is happening in Iran. And I was like, yeah, but it's not funny. Like imagine if I was killed for not wearing a hijab, would you be okay with that? And they actually realized, because they pictured me getting killed, and that struck a chord.
And it's like, I'm not even telling you what to do, but like when you do these things, I just want you to know that I get hurt. And if you care about me as a friend, as a colleague, I thought maybe you should know, because I just assume that you're a good person, you're doing it because you're naive, you never thought that it's hurting me, so I'm just communicating how it makes me actually feel.
And say that. Say what exactly Dr. Faraz said. That I think you're a nice person, and I think you deserve to know that what you said made me feel like this. And now they have to admit, like they keep going, they have to admit that they're not, the assumption that you made that they're a good person is not true.
Yeah, that's.
Are they friends or colleagues?
Yeah, those are colleagues. Workplace. So yeah, I know it gets tough when it's in the workplace.
No, for sure.
Yeah, like.
I think the way that I said that, it's all about how you say it, and if it comes from a place where you're saying that I like you, I really enjoy hanging out with you. There's just something, since we are colleagues, when you say this, it makes me feel sad because I remember what happens to animals. I suppose if like the least we can do is to, whatever, insert your.
What do you say about the infighting that vegans do. Sometimes I've like had actually vegans say that you cannot call yourself vegan if your dog or cat eats like pet food that's not vegan.
If your pet food is not vegan?
And that's like something that we're actively trying to switch out. It just like takes a little bit of time because like they'll just get sick and that is not ideal. Like are there like especially actually any studies that I can read or something more better to do? Like we're trying the vegan
Yeah, so you can easily like, is it cat or dog? Cat or dog? Both?
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be vegan, nutritionally adequate food. The non-vegan cat food is already like supplemented with taurine, which is the only thing that cats need. Not dogs, only cats.
Even the cat food can be vegan? Because that's like the one thing that keeps like coming up is cats are obligate omnivores.
What does that mean?
Carnivores, I guess.
What does that mean though?
That they need to eat.
What do they need in meat?
That I don't know.
Taurine. Taurine is one amino acid that they need. Cats need it, dogs don't. So cats typically have to get it from meat. They can't get it, it's not in plants. But the key here is that non-vegan cat food has taurine supplemented in it anyways. So they have to supplement it anyways to make it nutritionally adequate.
And the vegan food just does that.
Yeah. So same thing.
So how do we go about seeing this? Like I was reading some post online and I saw that if you're forcing your pets to be vegan, you shouldn't get them at all.
It's bullshit. Because people shouldn't have pets to begin with. Like in an ideal society, the only way that it makes sense is probably when you get it from shelter because you want to help them, right? Just breeding these animals because people want to have fun and don't feel like lonely fucks. And so the whole process is not natural. But in what way does it make sense that I have a cat or a dog and then I pay for like tens of other animals to be tortured in factory farms? If you love animals, then you should definitely go vegan. If you love animals, then you should definitely not give your pet non-vegan pet food, right? It's like they're twisting the whole argument. It's like stupid.
Yeah, this is where I just want to get better at,
knowing and learning.
It's like when people say like you should have meat. I was like, what? Name a thing that they need in meat that they can get from plants. The answer is B12, and B12 you guys know, like you get it.
It can be supplemented.
It can be supplemented, and in meat it already comes from the supplements they give to animals. Even if you're not vegan, you still have to take B12 supplement in all older adults after 50 or 60. Your B12 absorption goes down. So you still have to have B12 supplement anyways, even if you're not vegan, right? So that's literally the only thing. So if a doctor says, oh yeah, your blood work doesn't look good, you have to have meat, you are like, no. What is it that I'm actually missing? Tell me what I'm missing. Then you go and find that in plant sources or supplements. So
that's one thing that I did ask my doctor, like, he was like, no, you're completely healthy if you're on a vegan diet, like plant-based diet.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that we found that doctor, because there are a lot of them who will say that no, you need to eat meat and all of that. I think the one thing that we still are struggling the most with is our families, because there it gets very tricky to explain, and that's what we're working more with. And we were talking to Sam, and he was like, he has similar case where his family is like conservative and becomes difficult.
Who?
Sam. He was mentioning like that's the one part, because it's sometimes easier to talk to strangers than to your family. Because it's just okay, what now, and like a whole lot of emotional stuff can come up, which is something you don't have to worry about with strangers. So that's one thing like we're wondering how to do, because his family is Mexican, which is like a whole lot more meat based cuisine, India as well, but like it's mainly pescatarian, like my family, and that too, like when my sister came, like we explained, we showed her Dominion, everything. Hopefully she said like she was vegan the entire time she was here with us, because I said I refuse to pay for any non-vegan food because this is my money and I refuse to give it for anything. So you're fine, you can pay it for yourself, but I'm not gonna pay for it. And then she was like completely vegan. She loved these cupcakes. Like she actually took them to India. So that was one breakthrough. But like my parents, like they were like, oh, but what if like other people call us, like because I think they've lived a way longer life being conditioned. It's a little difficult for them to like reverse it. I don't know what's gonna work with them.
But like you said, the focus should be other people.
Yeah. Rather than feeling like that is my limiting factor, just keep making as much good change as possible. And that's why I'm going to be active on my account so that I reach more people. And, I'm not just restricted to being focused on family or who are close to me, but pretty much anyone that changes.
I have to rescue Sam. He's stuck in this conversation for 2 hours.
I have class and walk.
Oh, okay. Materialism
Did we start helping cleaning up?
No, just took this out, so I just want to put it back.
I would more so just act on it.
You should take some of this with you.
Oh.
But then, like, shouldn't we just rewire the brain to, like, always be happy? We can do that. If it's just chemical reaction, should we just optimize humans to always be happy?
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Okay.
Which is like roughly
Maybe, but
I guess, yeah, that's,
I think
that's
that's just very
yeah.
abstract.
I know it is abstract, but like consistency, like if we believe certain things, then we have to be kind of consistent sometimes. I don't know, but
Okay.
consistently.
We can pack.
Yeah, we should probably.
Yeah.
Oh, we might be an hour.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Really
Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I know we have different viewpoints. It's like Purdue's a place where like.
Yeah, that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, exactly. But if you ever want to talk more, I mean, I'll definitely keep like if you have events again.
Yeah, we will definitely.
At least I'm thinking about all this stuff. So like,
We're gonna be lying. Well, thank you guys for coming. We're gonna be lying around some extra weeks if we got a little bit of trouble. We're gonna line a little bit until we get efficient.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely.
But we're gonna.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm subscribed. But it should be good. Yeah. No. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the event. Really. Have a good one.
You too.
I was rescuing you. Feel free to like. I was talking to him. I answered like some of the main questions, but when he became like so abstract, I was like,
Yeah,
no,
he.
because like you spend like 2 hours, and then like at the end he was like, well, we have our differences. Like, it's
Yeah,
like-
what was the point, right? I talked to him. He's really nice. I just, oh my gosh, like the first time I talked to him was like, I think it was last table, and he opened with, "Do you believe in evolution?"
Oh God.
And I was like, I mean, I don't believe in evolution. I know what evolution is, if that's what you're asking me. But like the guy's really nice. I basically just explained the way I view like those things, which is generally from a Marxist point of view, and like the development of like how history develops over time, and like I just explained my viewpoint, and then he's just like, yeah, I mean, I guess we just disagree. And then he's like, well, what if we could just rewire our brains to always be happy? And I'm like, what relevance is that?
When the conversation is there, it should literally like raise a red flag.
Yeah.
To just end it, because or bring it back to reality, because what you said was, how do you know if you're not religious, like what is right, what's wrong? It was like, suppose for a second you weren't Christian, would you just go rape people? It was like,
Yeah,
no, there is like something, yeah. Or another guy was saying, but you know, why should I care? Because if I can get my proteins from meat, yeah, I know it's bad, but why should I care? It's like it just shows that they're trying to detach themselves from reality. I'm just like, if you step on a dog's foot, just bring it back to reality. You're just what are we gonna do? And I was like, yeah, I feel bad. I say sorry. And then he left because it was like very obvious that it was like stupid, right?
Yeah, I was just trying to indulge him because he seemed like he actually might go vegan on the based on this. So
No.
I was just trying to indulge him a little bit. I mean, I enjoy having conversations like that. But it's like that guy. He's just a lot. Like literally, like it just started like the first time I talked with him, he just started like preaching to me, and it was like, and he was like talking about how.
At least he showed up though.
Yeah, that's what I said, and I was like, I'm really glad he showed up, and I like. It's more important to me that he goes vegan based on this than anything else, so I'm fine to just indulge him a little bit in what he wants to talk about.
We need more vegan Christians.
Yeah, that's true.
Fantastic job, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't know where all these people came from.
Yeah, I don't know either, honestly.
Some of them saw the posters. One of them saw the veganism is immoral jersey.
Yeah, I mean, like all those little flyers we got, I put them all out today.
Nice.
Like I mean, it didn't take very long, but I honestly was kind of shocked by the turnout. I think like it was about 40 people, which is about a little under 50% of the total people who RSVP'd.
That's what I told you. So usually 40 to 50%.
Yeah. So. No,
But fantastic turnout. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I was stressing out earlier today though. I was genuinely thought we were about to just get banned like before we even got recognized.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we.
Number of things you handled like single-handedly. You managed the food. You managed to get lots of people here. The cancellation thing you managed today. Really, you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That guy's. I'm just glad he's showing up, and he said he'd show up.
Yeah, and I didn't realize the other guy who was sitting here. What was his name? He said I'm a Catholic.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know his name either.
I think he came to the movie screening too.
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't remember.
That's good. Like, he said he's involved with like Christian societies, so we can do the Christspiracy.
Really? Yeah, that would be interesting.
And also there was a guy sitting in the back, Max. I think you know him. He seemed very motivated. So.
Yeah, he was actually. So Conrad actually put me in contact with him like months ago. He was the first person I actually reached out to, but I don't think he would. He's just really busy, I guess.
He said he's gonna quit the thing that keeps him busy.
Oh, really? Okay.
So there's a lot of hope,
Okay.
and he seemed very motivated.
Yeah, I was just worried because I was actually kind of pissed off at him because he left me on red for a week when I asked him if he wanted to meet up sometime to talk about like getting it started back in like October. And then he reached out to me and he was just like, well, you still want to do this? And I was like, yeah, let's just wait a little bit. Because at that point I'd already met Brianna. And I was just like, I don't really want to. If this guy's gonna leave me undelivered for a week, like every single time I want to do something with him, I'm done.
Makes sense. He said he was a part of this competition, that he was like extremely busy, but he said he's gonna take a step back. So maybe.
I hope to see him. He's really nice. He came to our last social, but.
He came to the social?
The first one we did with the pool.
And remember, now you have to like start setting fire under people's butt.
Yeah, I was planning on like right after today, like reaching out to like 5 different people.
Yeah, good.
Like in mind, because I'm trying, since Brianna won't be able to table, I'm really looking for someone who would be willing to come out, especially like Christian mentioned about like getting us a TV like sometime in the near future. So like, I would not be able to carry all that on my own.
No, we get you a, what do you call it? Like a wagon.
Yeah, but it would still be more fun with someone else there and easier. I think Zoe is going to. She said she's going to come table with me tomorrow. I think my plan is just I'll let her do that one time and just if it just turns out to be amazing.
Hold on for a second. This is the recording.
Oh.